always at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time.
I'm just kidding. We're not going to.
Welcome to the 49ers Cutback War Room. We are going to be doing a 7-round mock draft with trades. Yes, Gary, that is crazy. Before free agency, it's going to be fun, and this is going to be a blast first.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be a lot of fun. Alex started the podcast on time today.
Woo!
Everything's going good, guys.
Shade. Didn't like that shade there being thrown, but he is correct. I did hit the go live button today. You don't make the same mistake twice around here. We're professional.
We're pro. We learn
from mistakes. We got a mock draft 2.0. We got some 49er roster updates that have been happening the past couple days. We obviously got live Q&A because that's probably one of our most favoritist things to do on this podcast.
It is.
Man, I'm looking forward to this, but we got to set some ground rules and just come to an understanding. It is my most favoriteest thing in the whole wide world. We got to set some ground rules and come to some agreements.
We do. Like, first off, I think the thing we have to decide and is going to basically set up our entire draft is Jimmy Garoppolo going to be the quarterback in 2021? Because if he is, the 49ers do not need to move up to take a quarterback. If he's not, more than likely they need to move up. Move up. Or, if he's going to be the quarterback, do we just build a roster around him? That is the real question. What are you guys thinking about this?
My feeling on Garoppolo is I am good with keeping him and building around him. If Zach Wilson or someone you really like were to fall to the opportunity to grab him, I'm good with that too. But I'm not outwardly, we have to get a quarterback. I'm not.
Tommy wants no edge rushers at 12 already. Just FYI for everybody. No edge rushers at 12 for Tommy. I don't think we're going to go edge rusher at 12. I'm going to go with, yes, Jimmy's going to be the quarterback, which means for me, under no circumstances for this trade do I feel like we should be trying to trade up for a quarterback. If one falls to you at 12 that we like, and I think we have a few names in mind that we like.
Yeah.
But I don't think, I think the idea going into this is that we're building around this idea that Jimmy's going to be the quarterback of the future.
Yeah, and if Jimmy is definitely going to be the quarterback in 2021, then a trade back scenario would work. So then the questions that we're going to be faced with during this draft is, do we just select players throughout the draft, or do we do a job of maneuvering ourselves through the draft to make sure we select 5 or 6 impact players in the top 100? That's going to be something we look at. I know, Alex, I kind of said to you that I thought, 5 to 6 in the top 100, and you agreed that was something that you were looking at as well, because the 49ers really have roster needs, but they don't have roster needs for back end of the draft guys. So that might be something that we try to do in this draft.
Yeah, I prefer to pick as many times as you can in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, we're going to see what we end up getting.
We'll see, but we're going to do our very, very best to try and pick as many guys in the top 100 or so.
Yeah.
So that way we're not picking as many picks in round 6 and 7 and
as long as we get
5.
an edge rusher around 12 for Tommy.
Just for you now, Tommy. Just because you said you didn't want one, you get one.
I don't think there's going to be edge rushers that go that high anymore. I think they're all going 15 to 25 now.
Yeah, I think the value for the tackle position has shot up tremendously.
Yeah.
With a lot of pro days that have been happening. I feel like a lot of teams... Yeah, trade, Gary, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel a lot of teams are looking at the offensive linemen as valuable commodities because there aren't that many of them that are elite. So the guys that are near that upper echelon of elite are going to go a little bit earlier. I feel like the edge rusher category, I don't think it's been depleted or like the value's gone down. I just think some of the other positions, the value's gone up.
I think people, too, are figuring out that these guys aren't to the level that we've seen in the last couple of years. These guys are mid to late first-round talents, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, finally, as we're getting closer to the draft, people are settling. Here comes the giant shoot-up of everybody, and then some guys falling off. So this is going to get interesting, but let's get into this draft, and let's see what happens, what we end up doing, if we can pull off the greatest Bill Walsh draft ever. Oh, you got something?
I actually thought this was a very good question.
I figured because you put up your finger.
He did.
Tommy wants to know, are we assuming Trent Williams is coming back when we do this draft?
Yes.
I think we would have to assume that.
And we also have to factor in, obviously, the Emmanuel Mosley situation with them just re-signing him as well. That now factors in and weighs in on our decision.
Yeah, it has to. I think if we didn't have Trent Williams, then there would be another scenario where we could trade up.
Well, I think that would be because you had put some questions and posed some questions to us we discussed a little bit, is which players available at 12 would you stay put for? And there were the obvious names: Sewell, Pitts, Wilson.
Yeah.
If somehow Zach Wilson fell to 12. But guys that we would trade up to get, and the common theme was Penei Sewell.
Yeah.
Was the name you would trade up to get. With Trent Williams there, yes, you want to trade up to get him, but if we're working under the assumption that he's coming back and that he's going to be on the roster, not as likely to maybe trade up as far. Maybe if you're sitting there at 12 and at 10 he's there, maybe you trade up a couple spots to ensure you get him, but we'll see what happens.
And it's all going to depend on, too, what happens with McGlinchey. Now that the Colts have called about him, who knows if there's a market heating up for him.
Accurate.
Well, if you could get Penei Sewell, I'd be okay with trading McGlinchey and playing Penei Sewell at right tackle.
Agreed, but I think that would be more of a something that would happen after the draft of trading McGlinchey, and not kind of before. So we have to operate with McGlinchey being the tackle. We
posted that video. I posted some of that information and those videos and the links to the videos from our Facebook page onto some of those Facebook groups of 49ers fans, and a couple people were all for just trading McGlinchey straight up for the rights to Andrew Luck. Not even Andrew Luck himself, just the rights. I was like, oh my goodness, just in case. Yeah. Everyone's on a different page.
Then we throw rocks at his house until he comes back.
I don't know if that's going to entice him to come back, but
if he doesn't come back, we riot.
We riot, absolutely, in the streets, just absolutely lose our minds. Get to this mock draft, this main page, and oh my goodness gracious, guys, I did not set this up properly at all. Everyone, please forgive me so much for just screwing the pooch on this. I apologize so hard for this. As you can see, again, there's the Niners. Wonderful, wonderful 49ers that we have selected. We have a nice situation here with the simulation. Speed, we have a little bit lower than midline. Care for positional value is a little bit set lower. And then you have randomness as well. The slider was a little bit higher than the midline. And draft for need, we kept the same as last time.
If we control 32 teams, we could get the Niners whoever we want.
I mean, that is accurate. That's very accurate. I also just don't know how realistic that is.
And then we could also force trades. So.
Oh, now we're going for realism.
I mean, I don't know if we're going necessarily for realism, but we're going to hopefully not,
Gee, I wonder who's going number one.
I don't know,
really
know.
I tried to trade the picks for every single pick for the next 3 years.
You could force it.
Yeah. You can.
I was not trying to force anything, Horst. Okay, I'm a gentleman.
He is a gentleman.
Yeah.
He's a very nice person. But anyway, we got this going on here. I think we're just gonna start this bad boy.
Let's do it.
Let's start this thing up.
Let's see.
So can you pause it after every pick?
Yeah. We can. So Trevor Lawrence goes one.
At least for the top 10.
Top 10, yeah. So we can decide if we need to move.
So Trevor Lawrence went 1. No surprise there. Who do you guys think's going 2?
Wilson.
My money is on Zach Wilson.
I'm going to say Zach Wilson as well. I don't be shocked, though, if you see a Justin Fields here as well.
Yeah, or a Penei Sewell.
Or a nice Penei Sewell. We'll see what happens here. It is Zach Wilson at 2. So Dolphins on the clock
Here comes a receiver.
3. I think this is probably going to end up being Jamar Chase. I could even see Jalen Waddle here at 3.
You can see a receiver show
up. So let's see here what we get.
Ooh, okay.
And now it gets interesting, ladies and germs. Oh my goodness, Micah Parsons at 3?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, hey, they got to replace Kyle Van Noy, right? Because he made it in San Francisco, so
Yeah.
All right, resuming, we'll find out what the Atlanta Falcons decide to do.
Wow.
Caleb Farley. This is getting intriguing now, guys. One of my favorite things to do in this draft is to trade up with the Cincinnati Bengals at 5.
See, at this point right here, if either Zach Wilson or Penei Sewell is your guy, this is a spot where you can make a move because the Bengals are a rebuilding team that would probably like to stack picks.
I just don't know if the Bengals would move off 5 when they could get Sewell.
I mean, it'd be silly not to draft Sewell.
Especially when your biggest need is tackle.
Yeah.
Well, and your quarterback got injured because your line couldn't block.
Yeah, that is true. They really can't block.
Well, I mean, he should have got out of the way, but...
I mean, I think if he falls a little bit farther, so we have to give up less, I would be more interested.
All right, so let's see what happens.
This is where you start thinking
I agree.
This is where we see what happens. 5 is on the board, and it's Justin Fields. What an the world is going on?
Okay, this is ridiculous.
PFF, what?
PFF is screwing us up.
I don't understand. Well, here's the thing: is we didn't mess with the sliders all that much in terms of the drafting for need. Like it's there.
Yeah.
It's still high. It was slightly below what the average number is.
I'm just guessing that the randomness is what's causing this issue.
Potentially. Do we want to reset this thing?
I think we should reset it.
Yeah, this is garbage.
This is a garbage setup and a garbage start. PFF.
Lower the randomness.
We're going to take the randomness down a little bit. I didn't even set it that high. Speed, we're going to go down. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my gosh. All the COVID. Oh, my goodness.
They almost killed me.
You want to leave it in the middle?
Yeah, leave it in the middle.
All right. Draft for need. We'll leave there. Care for
Leave it.
positional value. We'll just lower it a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little. Not a lot. PFF. For love of everything good in the world. Please.
Yeah, come on. Justin Fields is not going to the Bengals.
No, it's not happening.
All right, let's start the draft.
Okay, now Zach Wilson went 1.
Now Zach Wilson goes 1.
Thanks a lot, PFF.
PFF, you're awesome. We're not redoing this again. We're not restarting this.
No.
Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is going 2. Okay. We had Micah Parsons the last time.
This time it's going to be a receiber.
There you go.
Jamar
Jamar
Chase.
Chase. Okay.
Okay,
Now things are going a little bit smoother.
Now here goes Trey Lance.
Not after that pro day today, guys. Not after that pro day.
Jalen Waddle.
I can see Waddle there. I don't like that pick there, but I can see it.
Okay, here goes Soul.
You think it's
If
gonna be
this is
Sewell next?
Justin Fields, I'm going home.
We're done. Calling it a day.
Smith.
Okay.
Okay, I can see that. So we know
The
for sure
Bengals are
then.
dumb.
We know for sure then that Justin Fields is here at 6.
Yeah.
He's going
So-
to the Eagles at 6. So
So at this point, are we considering?
Going up for Soul?
yes.
At what point would you consider it?
I don't think I would go up until like 7 or 8 because of what you're going to have to give up,
Okay.
value-wise.
So you would think the latest would be 7 or 8?
Because we're operating under the fact that we think we have Trent Williams already signed. You know what I mean?
Oh,
At
we
this
have
point.
another Chris Sims fan here in Gary.
Nice.
Chris Sims gets it right. Nico Wilson wants to know if Lance is there at 12. Are we going to take Trey
Nope.
Lance after that pro day today? Absolutely not.
I
don't
didn't
think
even
so.
see his pro day. And
It
I'm
was
saying
not.
no.
It was not good. And
I-
anyone who would tell you that it was good.
Well, he's not a pro yet.
Well,
so why
not,
would his
not
pro day
just,
be good?
Okay.
I mean, it all depends on what you see in this guy, and I don't know if we want to pick a developmental player when we're built to win now.
We don't want Tim Tebow. That's all.
Well, someone had brought
He's not Tim
someone
Tebow.
had brought this up to me and said,
Yeah,
you know,
he's not as good.
you could draft him, you could sit behind Jimmy for a couple of years. The problem is you don't take a guy like that at 12.
Yeah, I think that's more a guy you would take in the second.
Yeah, that's a
round.
guy you take in
like
the second
Kellen Mond
round.
or something.
I mean,
oh God.
Aaron Rodgers in the 20s, like Jordan
Oh,
Love in
no.
the 20s. That makes sense, kind of. That's
Oh.
kind of where you do it.
Oh, Horst.
I just wanted to see his face when I said Kellen
Yeah,
Mond.
well,
All right, go ahead.
I'm
Let's do this.
I'm not all good on that, man.
Eagles.
6, we know it's going to be Fields. Okay, so 7, this is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
They go edge rusher because they take the need. So Penei Sewell at 8 could happen. Then again, it couldn't happen. At what point do we pull the trigger if it's Penei Sewell? If he
I don't
makes
know.
it past 9, do you take him at 10? Do we trade up at 10 with the Cowboys?
Because Dallas is taking him if he goes to 10.
They may not.
I don't think they will.
They may not. He
There
could
is-
fall to 11.
But also, what do we think the difference is between Sewell and Slater? Because the farther Sewell falls, the better chance Slater falls to 12.
Well, and the question is, how much do we value Penei Sewell compared to stacking picks?
This is accurate. This is very.
I mean,
very
if you
accurate.
guys are dead set that we need Penei Sewell,
No.
I wouldn't
then-
say I'm dead set on it, but I would absolutely love it.
all right, well, we can make a move, but where?
I still think this is a little early to move.
Okay.
Okay, let's just see what happens here. 8.
Because I don't think Denver or Carolina is going to take him.
They went Slater.
What?
Which could happen.
It could. It could happen.
Remember,
could.
Sewell sat out this whole year. That might rub some people against him.
Yeah.
It's true. All right, Broncos at 9. I'm assuming they're going to go corner here. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they go tackle here.
Or Trey Lance.
By the way, Tommy Huxley,
Oh, no.
we pronounce accurate like that as an ode to a friend.
Accurate. Very, very accurate. All right, let's see what happens here. See what happens here at 9. Oh, Lordy. Caleb Farley. Is there? I have a feeling here that the Dallas Cowboys are going to go Christian Barrymore from Alabama.
I'm feeling receiver.
You're feeling receiver?
I'm thinking
Barrymore from Alabama.
Surtain.
Sertan? Let's find out. Let's find out what they do here at 10.
Micah Parsons.
And interesting take.
And then
Okay, so at 11 then.
I think we almost have to play it out right now, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a good chance Penny Sewell falls here.
I mean, we could trade with the Giants and move up one spot
I don't feel like that's
to
necessary.
make sure that we get him.
I don't feel that's necessary.
Okay.
No.
I think we should wait and just wait it out.
We just take the chance?
Because here's the thing. There's two guys here that I love coming up, right? You have Penny Sewell, who's on my
And you
board,
have Kyle Pitts.
and you have Kyle Pitts, who's just going to fall to us at 12 somehow, some way, which is absolutely insane. And we also don't know potentially what trade offers are going to be there. Because
Yeah.
if you get a team like the Patriots that want to come up, you could roll the dice a little bit more with the tight end position because none of these teams, other than maybe Minnesota at 14.
Well, especially if Trey Lance is available, a lot of people are going to want to come up and get him.
Correct. So
And you know what? If Sewell falls there, there's probably people wanting to move there.
That's true.
we could see.
Someone said that they shouldn't have took Joe Paterno's statue down. They should have just turned it around so it can look the other way.
Bingo.
Bazinga! Bazinga!
That was pretty solid.
Grant Cohn says we might have a chance at Fran Tarkenton if he comes out of retirement. Good old Robbie. I'm not surprised that Grant said that, to be honest with you. Let's resume this thing. Let's see what happens here at 11. Oh, my Lord! He falls to us at 12 points. We told him to trade.
So we have Sewell and Pitts.
And look at the trade offers.
Oh, my Lord. The Cardinals at 16 wanting to come up. But what in the world would they want to do here at 16? Do they want to take Pitts?
Probably.
Or do they want to take
Sewell?
One of the
we
two.
probably don't want to help
Under
Arizona.
no circumstances do we pull the trigger on that
Well,
trade.
who else is wanting?
Chicago Bears are the other
That's
team
20.
at 20.
The only thing is, if we move to 16, we can't get one of those guys.
No.
So I was going to say we could either get Pitts or Sewell, but
I mean, you might be able to get one of them. It's possible. It is possible. I don't think the Vikings. I'm pretty sure the Chargers are going to go Barrymore based on how things are currently going. Chargers are going to take Barrymore. Vikings could end up trading back or taking.
Vikings just cut Riley Rife.
yeah.
That's true. They did cut Riley Rife. So it's probably less than like.
We're not getting Sewell.
16, 20, 22, 27, 35. I think we have to take Penei Sewell here, right?
I'm saying we take Penei Sewell.
Yeah, I agree.
F Arizona, agree with you there, Tommy.
Well, definitely agree with F Arizona.
I think Penei Sewell at this point is just too much value.
I think this
have
is
to do
this is a steal. I feel we just got the best, if not one of the best, two players in this draft
Oh yeah.
at 12. So
And what's scary is maybe the 4th or 5th is right there under him.
yeah, that's really scary. So at 12, the 49ers will select tackle from Oregon somehow, some way.
Penei Sewell.
Penei Sewell. So
Chargers could go Pitts, yeah, because they just with Henry.
with
so that would
Henry,
make
absolutely.
sense.
So they go Pitts. That makes sense there. On the clock now. I don't know what this team is going to do. I could see them going Barrymore. I could see them going lineman.
Horn.
And they go J.C. Horn.
A little early, maybe, but
Very early. I feel they could have traded back there. Is there anyone that we want to start considering trading up for, gentlemen?
not to this point.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
I mean, if Pitts was still on the board, maybe, but no.
Rashad Bateman goes to the Patriots. I don't see that.
Surtain,
I don't see that happening at all, by the way. The Patriots going after a guy like Rashad Bateman.
I do see Surtain to Arizona if he fell there because they're losing Patrick Peterson.
So they might have been trying to. Well, maybe they were trying to come up to get. I'm sure it was Pitts.
I'm pretty sure maybe it was Pitts. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens. Raiders next on the clock.
I think the next time we're thinking about trading up, it would be the end of the first round, like that 25 on.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
until then, we just kind of let's just
The
see
Raiders
what happens.
get Darisaw.
Darisaw,
Finally.
Elijah Moore.
Yeah. Wait, hold up. Did the Dolphins pick Jamar Chase and Elijah Moore?
I believe they did. They went two wide receivers back to back.
And that's why the Dolphins are stuck in
PFF.
playoff purgatory.
PFF. They're doing great.
Trevor
Safety
Maury.
for Washington. I could see that. Very early. Gregory Rousseau to the Colts. That makes sense. Jalen Phillips right after that. Also makes sense. Rondale Moore. Tevin Jenkins. Christian Barrymore finally off the board. Dylan Radins, they take a tackle here. So we're sitting at 27. There's still some good talent on the board, guys. How are we feeling about this so far?
Is there a way to look at who's still on the board?
No, not with PFF.
Not with PFF, but based on, our
Basically,
list.
on our what we
Based
have,
on our list.
of course, you got Quiddy Pay,
He's gone.
Oh, he's gone?
Pay's gone. We
Zaven Collins.
still have Zaven Collins. You still have Azeez Al-Jalari. You still have Wyatt Davis, Afatu Melifonwu.
Which I think are second-round guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're going Wyatt Davis if we just went.
No.
Correct.
Okay,
I think first-round guys that we think are first-round talents that are still there are
Collins.
Azeez Al-Jalari and Zaven Collins.
Yeah.
And I
they're still
wouldn't be
available on
shocked
the
to
board.
see Azeez go right here.
But I think I wouldn't be shocked if this pick isn't Collins. Them or the Browns are going to take Collins here pretty soon.
You think
Or
so?
Falcons maybe at the beginning of the second round.
Possibly.
But I don't know if we can trade up to take Collins when we need some value picks here in the middle rounds.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to give up our second and a lot more to take him. That's part of it. By taking Sewell and not trading back, we kind of lose some of our flexibility about moving around.
I agree.
True.
So
True. But we could take try and pair up some of our late picks to get some.
We could, but then we're going to end up not having enough picks in the middle rounds to fill positions that we need to fill.
True. So we may be kind of stuck here. We may not get a whole lot of trade scenarios in this one.
Well, we'll see what happens when we get to 43.
Okay. We'll find out what happens. All right. So we'll run this thing a little bit.
I think so. I think we run it and just see who's there at 43.
All right.
Azeez,
I
told
next.
you.
Horse was right.
Mac Jones after that. I can
That
see
actually
that.
makes sense.
Jason Owe, who ran that ridiculously fast 40.
Yep.
Vera Tucker, not too long after that.
Yep.
Nick Bolton from Missouri goes. And that just Travis Etienne goes
we
next.
still have
Well, Davis is gone now.
Zaven Collins. We still have Najee Harris. We still have, there's still some good players.
Really
here.
good talent here at this point.
I mean, do we want to trade up and try to get one of those guys yet,
No.
Horse? No? Okay.
I was just pointing out guys that are.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, we're only a few away, and the only other team I'm really worried about taking is Zaven Collins is right here at 37.
Well, I don't know. The Dolphins...
They might,
they
but
might.
I think didn't they go?
No, that was in the other one.
That was in the other one? Okay.
Yeah.
So they could as well.
Remember they went double receiver.
That's right. They went
The
double.
Bengals
double
also,
trouble.
I could see them
Yeah,
doing it.
I don't think he makes it to 43
All
personally.
right, we'll find out what happens here.
Mhm.
Walker Little.
Walker Little, okay.
Aleem McNeil,
good
that is
pick.
a great pick.
I like
And
that.
it was one of the guys I wrote down before who I would love to have walked away with
Okay.
in this draft.
He was like one of those guys you really wanted to walk away with.
I do. I like him a lot.
Okay. A
Pat
tight
Fryer.
end.
Getting interesting.
Kadarius Toney.
All right. We gotta start making some considerations now, boys, because the guy we want might be there, or
But with holes presumably at DB and
it's going to be really hard to
edge
take.
rusher, are you going to trade up and decimate your middle rounds?
No.
For
Well, it depends on what you
linebacker?
have to give up.
Correct.
I'm just curious.
I mean, because we could reach into next year's draft, too.
Could very well. Do we want to let this thing run one more? Because if he falls past the Broncos,
Let's do it. He might make
But
it
to
to
me,
us.
wouldn't it be more realistic to need to trade to the Broncos spot
yeah,
to jump in front of a linebacker needing
Correct.
to?
Yeah, but okay, because the Detroit Lions might take him.
might take him. So,
I'm just saying it's a little more realistic.
I think the question we need to ask him, and
Well, let's see what they'll take.
Also, I mean, what does everyone watching think? Are we crazy for wanting to trade up and get Zaven Collins?
Coco Smooth thinks we can draft him and then trade Warner. So someone else is pretty high on Zaven Collins.
I mean, listen, I would prefer to just pair them together.
Yeah.
Personally, you can trade away a Dre Greenlaw. I'd much rather do that. Someone asked about Josh Rosen. We'll get to that later.
That
We'll
was
talk about
Rob's
him.
swing.
We'll talk about him later. That's fine.
That's another Grant Cohn thing.
It is. How the hell did he drop to 12? I mean, so there's a lot of just people shocked by it. I don't think anyone. I don't know. Yeah, chat. What are you thinking right now? Do you feel like we need to make a trade?
There's
Gary
always
says yes.
trade up and get him. Yeah. There's always a guy that slips, and we might have our chance to get two guys that have slipped.
Which would be crazy because I didn't think there was any way we walked.
If we walked away from, in real life, if the 49ers walked away from this draft with Penei Sewell and Zaven Collins, even if they had to trade up from 43 to 40, I would be ecstatic.
Absolutely.
Well, let's try it.
Want to trade up?
Yeah, and let's set an amount that we don't give up,
Okay.
too much.
I think we should try to only trade something next year.
So let's try to give them let's give them a fifth next year.
Okay, 5th in 2022
And 43.
And obviously 43.
and 43.
Yeah.
See
And
what
see if
they
they'll take
say.
this.
Let's see if they'll take it.
Okay, let's offer the trade up.
Boom.
And they took it.
Okay, so
They took it, boys.
we can now take Zaven Collins.
Holy shnikes.
So he's one of
Holy
my favorite
shnikes.
players in the whole draft. So
Holy shnikes. Holy shnikes. Chat, go crazy, chat.
Did it just go crazy?
Chat. No, I want chat to go crazy. Go crazy, chat. We pulled it off. We did it. We did it. And there's teams that want to trade with us, too. You have the Bears and the Steelers who both want to trade with us at 52 and 55.
No one said anything since Gary said it.
Absolutely not. Under no circumstances are we trading that pick away right now.
no.
We have just pulled off the trade of trades currently.
So don't even waste time. I've already put in the thing. Just take Collins right now.
All right, we're taking Zaven Collins.
He's our guy.
Right now.
We gave up a 5th next year. We'll worry about that next year. If someone leaves, we'll get it back in a compensatory pick.
Correct.
No worries.
Drafting Zaven Collins. So we've now addressed the tackle position.
Then we went with just a player that we think is one of the best.
Correct. And at the linebacking position, which
Okay,
gives us some flexibility.
So, hold up. Pause it real quick.
I'm paused
Alan.
it. I paused
Okay. So, guys, we don't pick again for 60 picks.
Yeah, we need to move around a little bit.
Is
We do.
there someone that we have our eye on?
Yes.
Who?
Okay. So we definitely need to end up with
One of the corners.
and we need to end up with an interior offensive lineman
Correct.
or an offensive lineman.
Correct. Hey now. Hey now, Kenny. Hey now, Kenny.
So
We are not responsible for jokes made in the live chat.
I mean,
so
YouTube might disagree with you.
kind of in that range between where we just picked and 102. The guys that I would love to walk away with, Greg Newsome from Northwestern, the
Okay.
corner. I think he's somebody. I don't think Molden's gone yet from Washington.
Molden is still available.
The
correct?
nickel corner or free safety. Joe Tryon,
Yes.
and then right around that 102 spot, Jordan Smith from UAB.
Okay.
Those are guys I like in those areas. Which guys do you guys like in that
What
area?
I would want to do here in this situation
Mhm.
is package some picks and somehow try to keep that 102 pick
Okay.
and jump in somewhere in the 60s or 70s
Okay.
and get probably, like you said, Newsome, probably a defensive back or edge.
Because if we're wanting to get Newsome, we're gonna have to jump into probably around the 50s to get him.
Okay. So Pittsburgh had wanted to trade with us.
But can we just value another corner like Paulson Adebo?
See,
I think we need to pick up multiple defensive
Benjamin
backs.
St. Juice.
I love Benjamin St. Juice, and Paulson Adebo is probably my favorite corner in the draft that a lot of people are sleeping on.
And that guy we could get in the 4th or 5th round, probably
Correct.
5th round. So
Correct.
we don't have to trade up to get him. So who do we want to get with our next pick? Do we want to get an offensive lineman? Because Creed Humphrey is going to be in the 3rd round,
Correct.
late 2nd, early 3rd. Do we want to pick up a center? Do we want to pick up a tackle? Or do we want to go with like an edge or a corner?
We don't need a tackle.
I would prefer.
Oh, we already got the tackle.
We already
so
got
we
the
don't
tackle.
need that.
So I would prefer here if we're gonna do something and make a move up, it's to get the corner that we all love.
Okay.
So I am on board with either Molden or with Newsome from Northwestern. I'd be fine with either of those two guys. I think
Okay.
they're both really, really solid.
Agreed.
I like them a lot.
All right. I like Newsome. I don't know if we want to use the draft capital that we have to go up and get him.
Well, here's the thing. We
Well,
could always,
But I do think he's a really fringe first round talent.
Why don't we go until one of the two gets picked and then stop and think
Well, the
about it
difference
again?
is though is Molden will play in the nickel, where Newsome plays on the outside.
True.
correct. So what I would prefer to. I mean, I would love to just go grab Newsome. I'd like to trade. The other thing we could do is trade up into the 50s somewhere and see what happens. Because if he goes before it gets to us, we can always trade out of that spot and trade back and pick up some capital as well.
It's true.
That's possible.
Okay, so let's play it. Let's say that we don't get into the 50s. Until we get into the 50s, we don't make a move.
All right. So
So
we'll
let's
get to
go to 50.
We'll get to pick 50. We won't let them pick at 50. We'll get to pick 50.
And
see what's going on.
if he goes before that, we'll adjust.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Let it roll, baby. Let it roll. Sante Samuel goes. That's a
That's
guy
a
that we
solid
like.
pick.
It's a solid pick there. Terrence Marshall at 42. Jabril Cox. Andre Cisco. I like it.
Lots of people from that Syracuse
Anderson
secondary.
Dickerson.
Dickerson.
That's another guy we could have easily have went and got.
Absolutely. And I just want to point that out. That is a lot of dudes from the Syracuse secondary that are going to be going in the first couple rounds of this draft.
Yeah.
That coach is on the up and up over there. Their DB's coach. Sam Cosme goes next.
And because we got
Molden.
And there goes Molden at 48.
Yeah, I mean, we still got, if we need to take a nickel guy, we can still take Trill Williams in the third. So
I do dig Trill Williams.
Okay, so Javon Holland goes next from Oregon. So now we're looking at a situation where he's going to be close to one of the next few guys that's going to be going here. So where do we want, if we're going to trade up, where do we want to trade up at?
Whew.
We're still going to have to give up a lot to move up.
Well, let's just offer the Dolphins something, and if they don't take it,
we'll just let it roll.
We'll let it roll.
Okay.
So let's try to hold on to 102.
I agree.
Let's try to give them like 155, 193, and 238 and see what they do.
238?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they probably won't take it, but let's just see where we gauge.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't take it.
They did not take it.
Because we're not offering them enough.
Okay, so the question becomes, can we package something a couple years down the road? So do we want to waste that? Because we only have a certain number of takes on this.
What if we just change 155 to 117?
And offer it?
Yeah.
Okay, we will offer that up.
Nope.
And that's a no.
So we're definitely not offering enough. We might have to just play it out because I don't want to give up like the whole end of our draft to be able to move up to 50. Even though I do love Newsome, I just don't know if it's
smart. Well, I mean, could we package something in the next year's draft? We do have 2/3 the previous year, 2023.
We already used one pick though to go get.
We don't
Collins.
want to dip into next year's draft.
So
let's
let's be patient because we do have corners that we like. Let's wait like maybe 4 or 5 picks, and if he's still there, let's try to go up again with a similar offer.
All right, that sounds good.
Maybe another team would be more willing to make the move.
All right, let's see what happens then, good sir. Resuming this thing, letting this thing roll a little bit.
Okay, Eichenberg.
Liam Eichenberg goes.
Washington.
Darius Washington goes. Trey Gowan goes.
Okay, so he's still there.
Diami Brown goes. Kyle Trask goes. Tyson Campbell goes.
Okay, here he goes right there. Oh,
Ronnie Perkins goes.
Yeah, you might want to pause it and see if we can move up now.
All right, 58.
So let's
offer them that
same package that we just tried to get 50
17.
117. It was 117. Was it 193 and 238? Was that what it was?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Didn't we just try 55 first?
We did try 55 first.
Try it.
Yeah.
With 58?
Who knows? Yeah,
58?
let's try it. No.
Absolutely
now switch 55 to 17 just to give it a...
Offer it again?
Sweeten the deal, yeah.
No.
We're going to have to wait. It's just not in the cards.
Not yet. So if it gets to 65, then want to try it again?
Yeah. I don't know if he'll make it, but there's other guys we can take.
I'm saying I don't think he'll make it there either. I'm just...
Resuming back up, ladies and germs.
Richie Grant.
Creed Humphrey we just lost. He went early for
Marvin
second
Wilson.
round.
Ifatu Melifonwu goes. Another Syracuse guy.
There's
and
Newsome
there,
right
Greg
there.
Newsome right there.
Yeah, so we're going to have to make adjustments with our corners.
Well, I'm still fine with Trill Williams.
I'd love Trill Williams in that third round.
No, I do, but once again, Trill Williams is a different player.
Yes.
Newsome plays out.
Right, so now when you're looking at our corners, the guys that we like are...
Williams,
St.
Juice, Paulson Adebo.
I like Sean Wade.
Sean Wade as well as the other guy.
But I think we would all more agree on St. Juiced, Adebo, and Israel Mukwamu.
Yes.
Who I see maybe as a free safety eventually. That's where I've been kind of liking him. So, I mean, right now that we're in this area, none of those guys are going to go that we just talked about. St. Juiced ain't going to go till somewhere probably in the third round, mid to late third round. The next guy we have to decide if we want to move up, if we want to get a edge rusher. Do we want to get Tryon or do we want to wait for Smith?
I'm fine with either guy, Joe Tryon or Patrick or Smith.
My feeling is that Tryon is a little bit more ready to play today.
Yes.
But Smith definitely has similar upside.
Yeah.
It's just Tryon's a lot more technically sound.
Correct.
Okay.
I don't know what
and
you guys
really,
think.
I think this depends. I think the real question is, do we think that the Niners are going to do something like a Kyle Van Noy situation? Because if the Niners are going to get a Kyle Van Noy, you're going to take the prospect. You're not going to take Joe Tryon because you got a guy who can go in and rush the pass rush and Van Noy on nickel packages and pass rushing downs. And you can have you can just have Smith develop.
Well,
I
mean, in all reality, both of those guys are Kyle Van Noy.
Basically.
Built the same.
Yeah.
Tryon could be an outside linebacker in a 3-4 or play the 4-3. So, all right, let's just let it roll and see what happens.
A little underwhelming, guys. A little
Yeah.
underwhelming with the trade scenario. We might have to do another one of these and do a fast one and just make some more trades. We get our trade kick and trade.
Well, let's see. We still got a lot of room to go.
True.
Let's see what happens when we get in the 80s and see who's left.
Accurate.
And really, like we said, it's about walking away with 5 or 6 solid players.
Also true. And we picked up 2 of the better guys in the draft.
We have probably 2 of the best players in the entire draft already.
Yep. And we didn't have to trade at all for it.
Yeah.
Other than we traded up. We did trade up 1.
We did trade up and gave up something next year, so
Correct.
I'm not too worried about it.
Nothing too crazy, right?
Najee Harris. I've
Najee.
been seeing Dallas draft him a lot lately.
Absolutely. Devontae Williams goes. Joseph Asai goes.
Until I see, we're getting kind of into the area. Tryon is the
Evan
82nd
Jordan.
best player. So, we can wait it out, though, because, we can go with, we'll see what happens. There he went.
There he goes.
So he went. So now we need at some point, if we want to walk away with Jordan Smith, we need to make a move.
We're going to have to make a move for Jordan Smith. The question is where do you think he's going to go?
I think he could go in the 90s.
Okay.
According to PFF, he's ranked like 102. So
okay, so at 90, you have the Minnesota Vikings, you have the Green Bay Packers at 92, Buffalo Bills at 93, Kansas City Chiefs at 94, Bucks at 95, Pats at 96, Chargers 97.
And the farther that it gets, the more we have to give up.
Correct. So
but we could package like 102 and another pick to move up. Or we could just do like we did before and try to throw.
We could try and are we willing to package up 117 and 155?
No, but I'd be willing to package like 117 and 180.
Okay, 117 and 180. Who do we want to go with and take a shot?
Let's just try the Lions first.
Try the Lions at 88.
Yeah, and try to offer 117 and 180 and see if they take it. We can always adjust the offer.
Okay, so we will offer this trade to the Detroit Lions and see what happens.
They said no. Give them a kicker of a 7th round pick, 238.
Add that in?
Yeah. Done.
Trade accepted. So now we have traded up to 88. Ladies and germs, we are going to be drafting.
Let's make sure there's no one there that we're overlooking.
Thomas Graham, that's not a bad take.
Not bad, but I'm not taking him there.
Benjamin St-Juste at 91.
I would.
And let's just see where. Amon-Ra St. Brown as well.
There's
Jordan Smith 104. So
do we want to take the corner and then try to
snag him at 102? I think we have a chance at it, to be honest with you.
I'd be afraid to lose him. Because we do like other corners.
We do like
I
other
think
corners.
there's not that many edges we like where there's a lot more corners.
Well, do we want to look at
is my personal
edges are left?
I don't think there's very many edge rushers left that we like.
So let's see. Smith.
Roche, I do like him, but I would rather have Smith over him.
I would rather have Smith over Roche.
I think you're right, Horst.
Okay, and there's a guy here, though, that a lot of people are sleeping on, Mr. Ellerson Smith.
No.
At Northern Iowa. I love this dude.
No.
Why not?
Because he's stiff.
He is stiff.
Watch him play. He looks like a big muscle-bound guy that decided, I'm going to play football.
Oh, gosh. All right, so are we taking Jordan Smith here?
I'm taking him. That's the reason I wanted to trade up.
All right, PFF is going to rip us a new butthole for doing this.
I don't care about PFF.
I know. I'm just saying.
I don't really care about them.
I know. I'm just saying. All right, here we go. Jordan Smith at 104. We're doing it, ladies and germs. We took the edge rusher we wanted. We traded up. Some people would say maybe early. Who knows? I like it. We need those picks next year to replace cap casualties from Nick Bosa and Warner extensions. So someone's not happy with us for the trade up. I mean, I don't know if your 7th round picks are going to do anything for you.
No, they're not.
In terms of your cap casualties there.
I mean, and Nick Bosa's extension is not going to happen yet. He's a 5-year guy. They're not going to extend him for another year or two.
Benjamin St-Juste goes at 91.
Okay, so he did go.
That's
a nice spot for St. Brown.
Yeah, it's a little early for Amon-Ra.
No, but I mean,
it's a good place for him to end up.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, Kellen Mond at 95.
Yeah, he's rising up board.
He is rising up board.
I think Grant Cohn would too. All right, so we're about to come to 102, and we're about to have options at corner for sure.
Trey Brown from Oklahoma. Nasruddin, Demetric Felton.
People will eat us alive if we take Felton, but the Niners did meet with Felton.
It's true. Quincy Roche, still there, 111. Darius Williams. Let's just look at what corners are actually available.
Yeah.
And see what we got here. Kelvin Joseph at 108. That's a guy that you're high on, Ant.
I like him.
Ambry Thomas as well, another nice guy. Sean Wade, a guy that we like. Trill Williams. There's Mukamau.
Is there any
Kwame.
trade offer?
Kwame?
No.
There's zero trade
I was
offers.
say,
Zero trade offers at the
you
spot at
could trade
102.
back like 120 and pick up.
Yeah.
So the next question then becomes, what else is there? I mean, I love Demetric Felton at that spot. That's not a terrible spot for him, but I just don't think we can do it.
Why not?
I don't know. How do you feel about Deontay Brown, guys? Interior offensive lineman from Alabama.
I don't think you're going interior offensive lineman now, because by getting Penei Sewell, you could honestly play him and pair him with McGlinchey the first year.
And just move McGlinchey inside?
Yeah, you can move McGlinchey into guard for 1 year at least.
Stick Brunskill at center?
And Brunskill at center, or you sign Alex Mack, and all of a sudden he plays center.
It's true.
And Brunskill is your swing tackle.
It's true.
And you're set across the board. So I think because of the picks we've made, we don't have to go interior offensive line.
Okay, so what do we want to go here then? That's the real question.
What do I want to do, or what should we do? Because what I want to do is
just take Demetric Felton
because he's on my list.
Yes, he is on the list.
He's on my list as a guy that I really, really like.
And the Niners have met with him.
Yeah, I think because he's a guy that can play slot receiver and play running back.
Sure.
So he can do it all. But I mean, that it really is. Really, there's no one I'm super high on. Like, I don't think Kelvin Joseph is that much better than the other guys that we just talked about.
Correct. And I think I would tell you right now that I like Sean Wade a lot better than I like Kelvin Joseph.
I agree.
And I know Horst probably doesn't agree with that because he's not a big guy. But I don't think you also reach for him here at this spot because it's 20 picks and there's no opportunity to trade back currently.
Right. And I do like Hamza Nasruddin, the safety.
Yeah.
But like I said before, we could take Israel Mukwamu because I think he translates into that, or Keith Taylor later in the draft that translates into a free safety.
So the question is then around that 155 range, who is going to be there that potentially we could grab?
Well, we could also move up a little bit and take Trill Williams.
True.
You know, I mean, we could wait a little bit once we see some of those guys go off the board.
Because Israel will be there also.
He'll be there. Adebo will probably be there. So we can move up and we could take Trill Williams if we want.
That's accurate. Okay, so then let's...
So do we go luxury Horst? I mean, we've basically just went out and we're just saying...
I mean, this whole draft has been luxury, really, at this point. I mean, we haven't really drafted a position of need that PFF decides is a position of need.
Well, because once we... Yeah, well...
But we also already decided before the draft, right? Garoppolo's the quarterback. I don't think any of us feel like wide receiver is our next thing that's the most important thing.
No. When I made my list, wide receiver was one of the last ones.
I don't disagree with you.
And once you took Penei Sewell, offensive line was off the board. Now we took edge already, so we have somebody that can play opposite of Nick Bosa that can put pressure on. So now you're talking it's got to be cornerback and then receiver. And we've already decided that Jimmy Garoppolo is our quarterback. We need to make sure he's protected. Penei Sewell, we need to make sure he has weapons. Demetric Felton could be that guy.
I don't disagree with you.
That he's got a lot of flexibility.
Horst, we good with this? We're doing it. Demetric Felton in round 3 at 102 with that compensatory pick. It's a nice one. You like to see it. We did it. Trey Brown goes next. Christian Uphoff. He's going to get up off his couch and be excited about being with the good old...
So at what point do you start looking
Ravens?
to move for Trill?
I think once we see Sean Wade come off the board, we need to be very willing to move up to get Cornwell Powell. That's a great pick. He ran a 4.4 today.
He did.
So once we see Sean Wade come off the board, we have to make a move to get Trill Williams if he's our guy, unless they're Sean Wade. So within here in a moment, Trill
that's
Williams.
The pick we gave the Lions from the last trade.
It is.
It is. We would be picking right now.
We would be picking right now, which would be and it's the thing is we wanted Sean Wade if we hadn't traded. But It's trade mock draft, boys and girls.
Yeah.
It's trade mock draft. We're getting value everywhere. Yeah. The question is where do you go? Where do you come up? What do you think a guy's going to get taken? I would say right around here,
Well,
right,
you wouldn't make
122.
the move until it was that team's pick, because if you make the move and the guy you want's not there, that's
Correct.
silly.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, right around this 121 range, maybe, Ant?
Yeah, we might look to go where the Raiders are.
Okay. So let's let this thing roll a little bit here and see what happens.
Hopefully we don't lose them.
Pete Werner. Ooh. Trey Smith. Jamie Newman goes. Okay. What did they do with their other picks is the question.
Oh, the
Texans.
Raiders?
Oh, the Texans.
Oh, the Texans?
Because that might give us... Well, actually, you know what? I'm not even going to look at that because, to be honest with you, some teams have done crazy, silly things. So It doesn't really matter. Do we want to try and make a move here with the Raiders? Although, oh no, we don't have any trades to offer. We can't offer anything. We're out of trades.
We're out of trades?
We're out of trade scenarios,
Okay.
I think. Oh no, we're not out of trade scenarios.
We just haven't made any picks.
We can. We can still
okay,
trade.
so let's try to trade with them.
Okay.
121. Let's try to give them 172 and 228 and just see what happens.
172, 228.
And just
offer
let
this
it roll.
thing up.
There we
And
go.
it is. So we got 121. Ladies and germs, we have traded up. Cameron Sample is falling down boards. And we are going to be taking the wonderful Trill Williams right there at 128. Making sure that we get the cornerback that we want. We got him. Nothing.
We got him.
We got him. Nothing to fear.
Yeah.
We took the guy we wanted there.
Now the question is, do we want to make the next two picks or do we want to turn those two picks into one?
I think, and I just refreshed the cache. Sorry, everybody. The chat wasn't loading on this screen, so I wanted to get the chat back up just in case. I don't want people freaking out. Say that again now.
I said, do we want to make both of those selections, or do we want to turn those two selections into one player?
You know who's still sitting there?
Who?
Quarterback
Which quarterback?
from Texas A&M.
He's gone.
Oh, did
Yeah,
he get
Mond
picked?
went
He went
already.
in like the second round.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
We had a Davis Mills in the chat. So I don't think we're gonna take Davis Mills.
Well, he's gone.
I think he is. At this
Yeah,
point.
I think he just went, didn't he?
Yes, right there. The
Yeah,
lines at
Davis
112.
Mills. I don't hate the player in the fourth round. That's pretty good value.
It's not bad.
But because we've decided to go with Jimmy, I don't think that we really need Davis Mills. I think they need a better backup. So I wouldn't even be shocked if it's not like someone like Mitchell Trubisky or something like that.
Yeah.
To me, Trubisky would be the perfect backup for Jimmy Garoppolo.
I don't
Somebody with experience starting.
I don't disagree with you there. So what do we
I'm not
So
saying we have to. I was just asking
at
the
155 if we want to trade back?
No, I'm just saying, I don't think we really need to turn it into more picks because we've made 5 solid selections.
I agree with you there, and we haven't really had to give up a whole lot.
And
in
we
future
said we
drafts.
wanted to make like 5 or 6 solid selections. So I was saying is, do we pick at 155 and 193, or do we just package those picks and just make sure we get our guy? Because who else do we? Okay, so who we got? Let's run it down. Penei Sewell,
Correct.
Zaven Collins,
Correct.
Jordan Smith.
Yep. Trill Williams.
Trill Williams and Demetric Felton.
Demetric Felton. Is the other guy.
So we probably could take a wide receiver.
Yep.
And then
And there's some good ones.
and
in that
either
spot.
a cornerback or I'm trying to think of who else we could take. A cornerback or a safety, I think, are the other areas. Because we've already taken care of offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, Felton, yeah, he could count as the pure weapon, running back and receiver,
Sure.
if you really want to go that way. But what do you think, Horst?
It's a tough decision because if a good player falls to both spots, then obviously you got less good prospects.
Yeah.
But if there's a specific guy either of you want, probably should trade up.
I mean, we could make both picks.
I would say I would prefer we just make both picks
Yeah.
at this point because
Okay.
I feel like and Gary agrees with Gary said the same thing. He said take both picks. I think with Penei Sewell and Zaven Collins and those 2 spots right there, I feel like you just created a whole heck of a lot of flexibility for yourself to be able to make some maneuvers and some trades and offer up some things maybe before that you weren't ever considering offering.
Okay,
so let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Let's see who makes it to 155, and then we'll decide.
We'll make a decision from there. Get hype, chat. 27 picks away, chat. 26 picks away, chat.
I'm honestly kind of hoping like McQuamu's there.
McQuamu would be nice.
I mean, I know who we could take with 193 if we get there, but
You want to rhyme his name?
Huh?
You want to rhyme his name for everybody?
No.
So they can try and guess it?
No. It's somebody that you would want.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, is it a marquee guy?
Yeah, it is.
Is he a marquee
I was
player?
thinking at 193, that might be a hot pick.
That might be a nice one.
Is his dad named Steven?
Sure.
Get it?
Yeah, I get it. That was really good. Kerry Vincent to the Rams at 141.
Horst will be here all weekend. Oh, Amari Rogers probably would have been a solid pick for us.
Ellerson Smith in round 4 is really early.
Yeah.
And I like Ellerson Smith. I know you don't, but that's really, really early.
He might as well be Ellerson Stiffy Smith because he's
Lord.
stiff.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Jesus. Bobby Brown. I think we're going to have some good options here at 155, guys.
It's starting to look that way.
It's really
our luck. Every option that we like will go off now.
Start going right now.
Pop.
Bang! There it goes. Bang! No.
I wanted McQuamu. Horst obviously wanted McQuamu.
So there is a Josh Myers at 155, guys. We like Josh Meyer.
We do.
Talanoa Hufanga.
He's a big fan. Ors is a big fan.
Not really.
I don't like. I think Telefunk. He reminds me a lot of Marcel Harris.
Okay.
In my opinion. Sorry, Horst.
Horst just got really sad. I mean,
Did you see what he did? Did you see all these sidelines?
I seen it. I do like Myers. Who else is available? I do like Myers.
I'm down with the center,
Kobe
man.
Whiteside, Paulson Adebo at 161.
Horst.
Here's the best part of this, too. There is a team that wants a trade, and it's pick 159, guys. So we, in theory, could trade back here with the Chargers and still get the corner that we like.
The corner or we need to take the center?
You take either one. Potentially.
Yeah.
Either one of them will be there, and we can pick up another pick.
All right, let's see. Let's see what we can do. So it's 159, obviously. So.
Okay, so 159.
And then I say let's try to get their 197. I don't think we'll get it.
For 155?
Yeah, I don't think we'll get it.
Hey! Boys, we did it!
They got somebody they want.
PFF, thank you so much. We just picked up 2 picks, and we're going to find out what we actually had to give up in order to accomplish that. Hopefully not one of the 2 guys we're thinking.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're coming up to get a corner, but...
We're going to find out here shortly.
No,
and they take a safety.
They came up to get a safety.
Interesting.
Okay. Well, let's see what happens when we get to 159. If we have one of them left.
There goes Horse Dude. There goes Rochelle. We're getting one of our guys.
Okay, we lost the center.
We lost the center, but you picked up an extra pick at 193, and we can take the corner we want.
Yeah, and now we've basically taken care of the corner position because, this is our third corner.
And this might be my favorite corner.
All right, take
potentiality
it.
in the
I'm a huge fan.
Just take it.
Paulson the Devil at 159.
So, do we want to make 193 and 197, or we want to turn those into one guy? Again, with the same topic.
Is there anyone we want?
I mean, let's look at our...
Shai Smith at receiver.
Shai Smith
is available, and he's going to be going here soon.
Than Steven's son?
I think a lot, but it's all about perspective.
Well, and it's in health, too. Shai Stevenson has been healthy his entire career and played with a...
Okay, so guys we're talking that are left, we could still wait because we could then go receiver and tight end if we want. Because Granson will still be out there.
That's true. And we didn't go the Kyle Pitts route earlier.
Also, Keith Taylor, if we want to go with a guy that can develop into a safety.
Correct.
Yeah, like you said, is Hamilcar Rashid still out there?
Potentially, yeah, he's still available as well.
So we could go with another. I don't know if we need to go with another edge rusher though.
But you could.
Yeah, you definitely could. That would give you some depth, especially with Ronald Blair now being gone.
It's true.
Horace, what did you think about Ronald Blair being gone?
I didn't know that. When did that get?
That was
today.
Literally today. It was probably right.
How was it work?
Yeah, I was in your transition
How
from work
dare
to coming
you
here.
work? Lame.
I know. How awful.
So did they release him or?
Yeah, they released him so he could get an early start on free agency.
Goodbye, Ronald Blair. You were a very average defensive lineman.
Yeah. So do we need another edge rusher, though? You know what I mean? Do we need another guy to play on the edge? Out of
He had a funny shaped face.
I think only Hamilcar is the only guy I like that's left.
At the edge rushing position?
Except for there's a guy in the 7th round that I would be okay with, but other than that, it's like... So, I mean, it really just depends on who you want to get.
I don't think we packaged these to move up. I think we've pretty much stolen everything that we could possibly... Like, we finessed everything. Oh, God, what did Kenny say now? What did Kenny say now? Oh, my Lord. Oh, my G-Mitty Christmas, Kenny. Oh, man, Kenny is roasting fools in
All right,
places.
let's just roll it, and then let's take the 2 best players at 193 and 197.
All right, we're going to roll it.
I'm down with that.
Are you down with that? I'm so very
Chris
glad.
Rumpf, that's a solid pick, actually. He's developing into something.
It is.
Ellinger, we lost out on a big-time quarterback.
I'm really upset about it. I'm
sure you
really
are.
sad to see it
I think
go.
I'm the only one that likes him.
Horst, who you liking here? Who's going at 170, Horst?
I don't know. I'm still thinking I like Taylor, right? Is from Michigan. Or not Michigan, Washington.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
he's
him.
He's
I
a
like,
7th round guy, so we could get him. Darius Stills, the Niners met with.
It's true. Defensive interior guy.
There goes Horst running back. There goes Shy. So Shy's gone.
Shy's gone.
Which we kind of thought could happen.
I thought that was going to happen before us there.
Yeah. Cooper, solid pick.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be a nice defensive end somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Snowden.
Absolutely.
He's got all kinds of secrets.
Dalen Hayes.
Yeah, I would say right now, there's not anyone that I want so much it's worth giving up both picks.
No, I don't think so. I think if we wouldn't have went running back already, Kylan Hill would have been somebody we would have been interested in taking.
Yep.
I actually do like Reed Blankenship now, by the way. I watched some film on him. He's scrappy.
Marco Wilson.
I'm
Alaric Jackson.
so happy for him in round 6. Doing his family proud.
Okay, so let's see. We're on the clock.
We are on the clock, ladies and
We
germs.
have 2 trade offers.
We do have 2
Do
trade
we want to
offers.
look at them just to see what's up?
We have
Horst?
Hamilcar Rashid at
Oh,
185.
that's a nice pick right there.
Hamilcar Rashid at 185. Shane Buechele as well, if you wanted to draft your future backup quarterback.
I don't think so.
Kyle Granson at
I
197.
do like Granson, but I think we could wait and take him. I like Javion Hawkins, but we already went running back.
Correct. Do you want to see what the trade offer potentialities are?
Yeah,
here?
just look at him just to see.
Detroit Lions
Absolutely
at
not.
238
Okay,
and
we're
240.
drafting.
Oh
We're
my
drafting.
Lord, that's not happening.
So let's just go with the guy we like the most. Let's take Rashid or Rashid. Yeah,
Yeah, Hamilcar.
let's take him.
Hamilcar.
Hamilcar. All right.
Hamilcar Rashid
And
at
then so we just got to
193.
decide at 97 who we want to take.
If we're
At
taking,
197.
I would say Granson if he's still there.
We
Oh, they took my boy.
They took Stevenson. I was just about to bring it up.
Oh,
I was just about to say, but Stevenson's still there too.
yeah,
Do we want to try to turn? Look at the draft. Look at the trades.
207 and 222?
Do we want to try to turn the Rams pick? No, we don't want to try to. Do we want to get Granson or do we want to get Taylor? I think that's the question.
I'm good with either.
Do we want the tight end or do we want a developmental corner / safety? We've already went corner big time in this draft.
I feel like Granson might be the pick there.
I think Horst thinks so too.
I think Horst thinks so too as
Yeah.
well. There's a good chance of that.
I do like Raymond, but we just took another edge rusher, so we can't go there.
It's true.
Nope.
I'd say Kyle Granson.
All right, let's go Granson,
All right, Kyle Granson it is.
and that finishes our draft.
Finishes the draft, but it's going to do its thing and run through here.
Yeah.
Let's take over.
Can you trade back in with next year's picks?
I believe you can.
Yes, you can.
I was just curious.
Yeah,
can.
you can.
But I don't think we're going to make any more.
No, we used one pick from next year, which I'm okay with
Hey,
because
Alex,
of who we
your
got.
guy Felipe Franks.
That's definitely not my guy.
Gator-
Shane Buechele just went at
Gator
205. By the way, so Chad, how are you feeling about this draft in particular? How are you feeling
Go ahead and
about
take his horse.
any of the things that we just did? Any of the decisions that we just made? Is there anything that you loved that we did? Is
Right.
there anything that you hated that we did? Please start letting us know.
Well,
Comment
I think
right
the
now.
difference too between this draft and the last mock draft we did, just in the players that we selected overall, I think it was a lot different.
Way different.
I agree. I think that the way it played out too was significantly different.
Yeah.
I think that's I got to give PFF some credit. They're obviously doing a lot of tinkering with their mock draft simulator. They're taking into certain things into account and into situations. And I think they're trying their best to maneuver things around.
And
there goes Keith Taylor.
I do think Rashawn Slater's moving up boards.
Mm-hmm.
And if Rashawn Slater is becoming somebody that people are falling in love with, him and Penei Sewell could flop, which if that happens and all of a sudden Slater's not the one available at 12, but it's Sewell, I think you have to take him 100%.
Coco liked our sleeper picks. He enjoyed the guys that we took there. We appreciate that, Coco. I think we were kind of surprised with some of the guys that we were able to get that late.
I think so. And I don't know how many people are really high on Zaven Collins like we are, but we're like 100% behind this guy. And the second round, that's just huge value.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah, getting Zaven Collins in the second round.
And if you really look, that pick at 43 that the Niners have is not a hotbed of guys that you like really, really have to have. That is another trade back spot for the Niners. Trade up or trade back. Mm-hmm. I don't think making a pick at 43 unless somebody slides is going to be what happens.
So Coco Smooth, who seems to be a new...
I like Josh Matter BB.
So shout out Coco Smooth for coming around here.
And commenting.
I'm hoping you hit the subscribe button already to get more great content. But he wants to know if we're going to do another one with trade downs. And I think... coming in, if I'm speaking out of turn here, let me know, is that we didn't plan on trading up or down. It was just whatever.
I think there's a certain set of parameters that determine whether you trade up or down. Like who's available up top, and then also, like, I prefer trading down, but, I mean, we're going to get wrecked on this, of course. That's what they do.
They gave Zaven Collins a C?
Well, they gave it a C because it's not of need. That's why PFS grading system is bad, because if they don't determine that it's as a need, then they're not going to, grade you high on it. Who cares, what they think, honestly.
I mean, at this point, yeah.
Tommy Huxley's not sold on the trade for a linebacker. Tommy Huxley, have you watched video of Zaven Collins?
Yeah, break down Zaven Collins. Zaven Collins is more gifted than any of the 49ers linebackers, and that's saying something. He's only played linebacker for 3 years, and he's freaking 6'5", 260 pounds. Dude is an absolute savage.
So you can see there, PFF grading us out a little bit there. A for the Penei Sewell pick.
Well, and they gave us an A-. In what world is that an A-?
Penei Sewell at 12 without us having to trade for him is an A+. That's an A+ pick. The trade up for 40, they gave us a C, and then a C+ for Zaven Collins at 40.
Because they didn't like it.
They don't think of it as a need, and that's fine. But I mean, if you're a 49ers fan, when you had 3 elite linebackers anchoring your defense, I mean, you saw how great that defense was because there's so many different ways, so many different things you can do with those linebackers and positions you can put them in.
Well, I think sometimes too, you can overdo it drafting for need. You have to make sure that you take a great player when he's available, and when you find a player that I believe is a top 10 talent.
Yeah.
I believe that when you're talking him and him and Parsons, I think they're like super close.
It's even.
And for him to go in the second round, the guy that they're saying this guy reminds them the most of is Brian Urlacher. Think about that. That's a Hall of Famer right there, Brian Urlacher.
He grew hair post-career, so that's impressive.
That is.
Yeah, and the fact that if people don't know the story about Collins too is he's only played linebacker for 3 years. He developed in college.
What was he in high school?
He played quarterback. All right, so he played quarterback and DB. So
he is a position of need, according to
just the things you could do with this guy, the way he can rush the passer, the way he makes turnovers, plays.
No, I'm in agreement with you. That guy is good.
He jumps off that's how Jordan Smith is for me too. He jumps off the screen.
Yeah, Kenny wants to know too when the next live show is. Kenny, Friday, you know the answer to that question. It's every Friday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on our YouTube channel. Specifically.
And once we get through with once we get into free agency, the next mock draft we do, the trades will probably be even different.
They will be a lot different.
Yeah.
And you guys really need to, if you're not subscribed, if you're watching this right now and you're not sure whether or not you subscribe, I got a little thing to sweeten the deal for you. We are going to do a mock draft right before we do our mock draft 3.0, and we'll promote it and let you know when it's coming. But it's going to be controlled by you.
Yep. 100%.
You're going to control everything that we're going to do. We're going to put polls up. You're going to get to vote. You're going to get to dictate to us what we do, even if we absolutely hate it with every fiber. You could absolutely send that poll and that draft completely sideways, but it'll be because you wanted it to happen.
They're gonna make Alex take Kellen Mond.
I'm gonna cry so hard.
I will leave.
If you make us take Margaret Wilson in round 1, I'm walking off. I'll walk off that day. Jordan Smith, they gave us a B+ for. They gave us a C on the trade. Whatever. Demetric Felton a C+. Trill Williams a C+. Paulson Adebo, the nice B+ there. And this is where we started to hit, according to PFF, our stride here at the end of it with this a list of Bs, even Granson a C+ there. They gave us a B overall for our draft grade. I feel this is an A draft.
I don't really care if they think it's a B. The reason being is because we filled areas that we need to fill, and we got impact players.
Correct.
And
I don't feel we reached anywhere.
Well, and
other than maybe you could say Jordan Smith we reached a little bit on, but
I don't care about what people, because I don't see him as a reach.
No, he's not a reach.
I see him as a second round talent. So if PFF thinks he's a reach, that's fine. But I don't think he's a reach.
I don't disagree with you.
I mean, there's been to me, he reminds me of the guy that came out Josh Allen that came out from Kentucky. That's who Jordan Smith reminds me of, is Josh Allen, and he's a little bit more athletic, and I think that he can develop into even a better player than that too.
I don't disagree with you there at all. Not even a little bit. No, I mean this turned out a whole heck of a lot better than I thought it was going to. I didn't actually expect it to end up this good.
100%. I thought that we were going to trade back from 12. I thought we would probably have a couple of guys that we liked, but we could get, because usually right at 12 you have Farley left, maybe Slater, but you can get somebody that's equivalent at 15 or 20, not Slater, but equivalent to the other two, especially in the corner position. You can move back. And I thought, we might be able to stack picks at 15 or 20 or 19 for Washington moving up or Chicago, but that's not how it panned out. But I would 100% be behind Penei Sewell as the number 12 overall.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. Yeah. Is that I'm more of a big move back guy and stock up picks in those first 75 to 100 picks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if a generational talent type of guy like Penei Sewell falls to you,
you got to make a move at some point, right?
I mean, if you just say you're going to go into the draft and you're going to get arguably the best tackle and one of the top 2 defensive players in the draft, how are you not like, that's absolutely what we need to do?
I feel like that would be the thing you have to do 100%. But there were some updates this week too, guys, on the roster. Some guys getting cut, some guys that got re-signed. A couple things that we do want to discuss and talk about before we try and wrap up and get to any big Q&A stuff. First things first, the big one, the cornerback position. Emmanuel Mosley gets a nice big contract extension, 2 years, upwards of $10 million. So it's not guaranteed 10 I think is sounding like what the max is going to be.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that move, Ant?
It kind of surprised me that the $10.1 million, that number, because they could have offered him a second round tender that would have came in around $3.2 million for 1 year that wasn't guaranteed. So you would have had flexibility. What this signals to me is, like we have talked about before, you don't want to have a crying need when you go into the draft, because then people know what you need to do, or you're pigeonholed, you have to do this. So you go ahead and you fill positions. The fact that they gave him that kind of money signals to me that they think he's going to start at some point. Either he's playing in the nickel or he's playing outside, but he's going to start next year. So who is going to play alongside him? They still need to fill those needs. So now the big pressing thing is it going to be Jason Verrett, or is he priced out? And then do they go with somebody in the draft?
Yeah, I don't hate re-signing him. I mean, I'm a fan of E-Man. I think he's a solid player. But I'm a little shocked at the money. A little bit shocked. Like you said, I was expecting if they brought him back for it to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $3 million a year.
It still could be, because it was only 10. It was 10 up to 10.1. So we don't know how much of it is guaranteed. We don't really know. Tommy Huxley just said that if Penei Sewell falls to 12, by the way, that he'll wear a Seahawks jersey for 1 whole minute. So
1 whole minute.
Holding that to you. In fact, if it happens,
we
are going to bring you on to the podcast because we will be live streaming the entire first round of the mock draft. If he falls to 12 and the Niners take him, we will be bringing you in on a Zoom call, and you will have to wear that jersey for a full minute, and we'll just laugh at you.
Actually, the Niners don't have to take him. His deal is just if he falls to 12.
True, technically.
That is
it's
true.
just a falling to 12 scenario, so now you've pigeonholed yourself, Tommy. Way to go. But it's not a guaranteed 10.1. We don't know exactly what the contract details are.
Right.
So I don't want to jump on the oh my god.
We don't know what the average base salary is going to be.
Yeah, it could still be a $3 million situation with a lot of incentives built in.
Well, it could also be some sort of a club option for year 2.
Correct.
There could be some, you know how they do their deals. It might be an actual 1-year deal where they can get out of it next year. Maybe all the guaranteed money's in year 1.
You mean like what the Bucks did today with 4 of their players, where they're 4-year contract extensions and then they're voided at the end of next season, so they're only on contract for 2 years.
Oh, you're going to see the most creative contract ideas that you've ever seen in the NFL. This is going to change the NFL this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was a step, though. At least they got somebody. They at least have a plan in place, and now they're starting to execute it. They also offered the contract or the tender to Brunskill. So now Brunskill will be back next year. He was an exclusive rights free agent. He will be back, and the 49ers now have a great staple that they can use in the future because they really need him either at center or guard. And now they've freed up the flexibility to either go get a guard, whoever that is. There's guys out there, Kyle Long. Maybe he's somebody that they could bring in at guard, or a tackle, that they really like, or even a center like Alex Mack, or maybe they just go get Alex Mack and Kyle Long, and then we don't even have to talk about the draft.
FTW.
Yep, there it is, Horst.
Horst, how do you feel about that Brunskill signing, man?
I like it. He's a good player. Me and Anna were talking about this the other night. I would rather he was our 6th lineman.
Yeah.
Because if he's your 6th lineman, you have a really good line.
Correct.
Maybe fantastic. Maybe excellent line. Yeah.
He's a lot like Mike Person. How Mike Person was clearly their 5th best lineman, but he got the job done when they needed him to.
Yeah. I think this would be the closest that this would be was when the 49ers had Boone as their 6th lineman. Kind of. I think that would be the level that they would be at, because you have Staley and but they have to bring back Trent. I mean, that's the big thing. They have to bring back Trent. And in our scenario, if we got Penei Sewell, woo!
Well, if they got Penei Sewell, then I don't know if it's as big of a deal. But for people who don't like the Mike McGlinchey situation, there's your Mike McGlinchey potential solution.
100%, you move Mike McGlinchey into guard.
Absolutely.
And you do take his. I think they're going to have to go ahead and honor his next year's contract.
Yeah.
Because $10 million is actually a good amount
for a starting tackle.
People freaking out about that, yeah. For a starting tackle in the league, if you grab Penei Sewell too, you'd be talking about a $10 million 1-year, $10 million deal for your interior right guard. That's still not a terrible situation.
No, that's what Zeitler was making.
Yeah.
with the Giants. So
absolutely. And then DJ Jones getting released today. Horst just found that out right before.
Ronald Blair.
Excuse me. Yeah. Getting released today. Horst just finding that out today and being just absolutely distraught over it.
Yeah.
And what were your feelings?
I mean, I follow Super Blair on Instagram. I don't know if it's going to be the same.
I think it was the 49ers doing him a solid, letting him get out there before free agency, and
even
that way,
starts.
Yeah, that way he has a chance to get out there and possibly land with somebody. He will. He's a good player, but when you miss 1.5 years because of injury, I get it. It is time to let him go. I think they're going to try to get younger at the position, and so I think they're going to maybe attack it in the draft.
Possibly. I could see. I saw a lot of fans freaking out too about the Jason Verrett situation, and Verrett basically saying, "Oh, I'm testing free agency." Yeah. I don't think that's shocked any of us, and I know it definitely didn't surprise me at all. He had a great year, and he's got to find out what his value is on the market so he doesn't get hosed. Because if all he does is, put his faith in the Niners, the Niners may lowball him this year because they're tight on the cap.
Well, and he's a guy that's had injuries, so he's looking at it. This might be his opportunity to get a nice payday. He's got to think about himself, think about his family.
KNDR Collectibles reminds us that Daniel Brunskill is also Aaron Donald's dad.
There are no lies in that comment.
For some reason.
He's his kryptonite. He really is.
Absolutely. So, chat, we want your questions right here, right now. We got our nice new overlay with our updated subscriber total, boys, all the way up to 528. We've picked up like 6 subs in this live stream alone. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Notice that we got a coming soon tab right there at 1,000. Shout out to Ty Brunson too, our latest sub. And he's our latest sub that's not privated. So if you're on our live streams, you've subscribed to the channel, and you're not seeing your name pop up in the latest subs, and you're a guy who just subscribed, the reason for that is your account is essentially set to private.
Yeah.
So we don't get that information that you subscribed. It shows up in our subscriber count in total, but we're not going to be able to see your name. So you just got to go to your settings, change that stuff up, make it not a private, make it public record, because then when you sub, it's going to get thrown up right here.
Also, shout it out in the comments, and we'll make sure we throw your name out there.
Hey, Jay Ellie's back.
Jay Ellie is back. What's the guess of how many Niners free agents join the Jets?
I would guess at least 2 or 3.
I think it's going to be a good amount. I think you have people like Solomon Thomas as a possibility, Kwan Williams as a possibility. Sherm is a possibility, even though I think Sherm ends up in Vegas. Out chance maybe an outlier, Kansas City for Sherm. I think that's a possibility as well.
Man, that would be an interesting one.
Yeah, that way you can go get burned by Henry Ruggs. I like it.
I like it too. I would say probably a couple. I would say no more than, I think the max would be about 3. But
I think there could be more because
you think so?
Yeah. Also, Matt Breida is a possibility that he could land there.
He's not a 49ers free agent this year.
He's definitely a 49er.
I mean, he's a 49er, but he's not a 49er.
I'm just saying, guys who fit the system, they're going to make sense.
Okay, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
And they took a lot of the coaching staff. They're going to try and build it in a similar sort of
Daniel
way.
Helm, another guy to keep an eye on. I know that's a big name for
everybody. Yeah, big old fat name.
He's tight end.
Yeah, he is. Jimmy got to go.
Mark Nzocha.
I could see him there too. Jimmy got to go. Get Watson whatever the cost from Alex Faulkner. Yeah. Alex, great first name, by the way.
Yeah, you know that is a thing. It really depends on the cost. Because I've been down with the Watson thing. Mm-hmm. My biggest fear was mortgaging the not just the future, but currently. Because if you give up, like a lot of people are saying, give up Warner and Bosa, it's like, what are we doing? Like, that's gutting the defense completely, which 2019, the defense is what took us to the Super Bowl. Plus, in 2019, with Jimmy Garoppolo as the quarterback, we averaged close to 30 points a game. That should be enough to win a Super Bowl. I don't think that going all in on Watson, I think waiting it out and seeing if the price comes down on Watson, and if it did come to 3 first-round picks or something like that, I would make a move. But I think more than 3 first-round picks or is just too much to ask for. Maybe 2 first-round picks and Dre Greenlaw, something of that nature, especially if you got Zaven Collins, then you would make the move. But I would really be worried about giving up too much.
Tommy, there are so many Alexes in here.
We got another subscriber.
We did. 529. What's up?
Jaron Austin wants to know what veteran CB cornerback we should bring in. I'm gonna start with Verrett and Quan Williams, but I'm assuming you're talking guy that's not on the 49ers.
Right.
That's kind of interesting. Obviously, I would love to grab, if he comes on the cheap, Patrick Peterson.
Yeah, so they're starting to tie him to the Niners. We did a video about that.
We did.
Tommy Huxley, there's infinite Alexes here.
Infinite. There's so many Alexes you don't even realize.
AJ Bouye just left Las Vegas without a deal.
It's true.
49ers are reportedly interested in him, so he's a possibility.
Another name, too, is Lattimore from the Saints, because there's a good chance he could end up getting cut as well here in the next couple
Jenkins
days.
got cut.
Janoris Jenkins just did.
Lattimore's stud.
Yeah, also, what's his name? Trufant.
Trufant as well.
Trufant is
what is the Stephon Gilmore?
Stephon Gilmore trade, I think, is a real possibility. I think Stephon Gilmore gets traded on draft day, and I think it's probably a 3rd-round pick. So we'll see. Maybe the Niners can throw a 2022 3rd-round pick to get Stephon Gilmore.
Megan asked, too, if we think New England is going to attempt to get Jimmy at all since Cam was signed today. I think the Cam signing is them trying not to show their hand at how desperately they want Jimmy. But under no circumstances are the Niners going to be moving off of him unless you're getting Deshaun Watson in.
Or a rookie quarterback or somebody like that. I think that signing today of Cam Newton signals that the Patriots are going to draft a quarterback in this draft.
I agree as well.
Yeah.
I think they're going to draft a quarterback as well.
Megan, I'm not a big fan of either tackle.
Nope.
Mitchell Schwartz a really good player, but he's having serious back issues, and that's scary for an offensive lineman.
A lot. Can you pronounce the Shark's name correctly, please?
Sharks.
Tommy, tell him what you mean, man.
He's not picking it up, man. He's not picking up what you're dropping.
I'm not.
Stream Elements is right, though. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button right now. Stream Elements, you're on top of it. Bot, I love it, Bot. Let's see what else we got here. Either Chiefs tackle. No, there's a reason why the Chiefs parted ways.
Well, I think part of it, too, is one of them's injured, right? One of them is really injured. I think that neither one of them will be an option just because of the price. I think there are low-budget guys out there, but I think it's Trent Williams, and then it's kind of scary. After that, so, I mean, Alejandro Villanueva is starting to get bad. His technique as far as pass blocking. Riley Ref, like you guys were talking about, Reef, whatever his name is, like you guys were talking about earlier, he's starting to fall off. So
It's true.
I mean, there are guys. I think there's more good interior offensive linemen out there than there is. I would rather go Kyle Long and play him at guard, Alex Mack, play him at center, and make sure that we retain Trent Williams.
So you're talking about K1 Williams?
Yeah, because you keep calling him Quan.
Yeah, I read how things are spelled.
No.
That is definitely K1.
This is definitely K1. There's an apostrophe and everything. Vikes, offensive tackle, Reef. Ellie just brought it up.
Yeah.
Again, for me, you have to go all in on Trent Williams.
Well, Reef would be playing a right
tackle.
Would be playing right tackle, so it would depend on what you're doing with Mike McGlinchey.
Correct. If you're packaging Mike McGlinchey to say, send him over to the Colts for Andrew Luck, then, who knows, maybe. But Luck's
Can we get Buckner back?
He's got to unretire first, right?
Alex Faulkner, I'm going to say there's a good chance we do both. Signing a free agent edge rusher
and drafting one. I think both is probably an
Wait
option.
for the shoe to drop with Von Miller.
Von Miller is the one that everyone needs to, and I know Grant Cohn
came on board.
He finally decided to talk about it.
It only took him a month.
It only took him a month to talk about it. We've been on it from the get-go, from the jump, y'all. Don't forget about that. Know where you heard your information from first. You heard
JLE
right
thinks
here.
Trent Williams is too much money.
I respectfully disagree.
Well, the thing is, though, JLE doesn't know. I listened to the radio locally, 680, and they were talking about it. And there is a deal supposedly that would get Trent Williams his money, that he would only have a base salary this year of $8 to $10 million. That is something they could definitely do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think either that with how creative contracts are getting. I mean, if you don't know what happened with the Buccaneers today, the Bucs decided to extend 4 of their players. They extended them 4-year contract extensions, which are voided out next season. So at the start of next season, the contracts are voided. They have 1 year left on their deal, and the rest of their money is still paid out through the 4 years of their contract. So these are guys who potentially may not be on their books for the next 3 seasons after next year, 2 or 3 seasons, that they're still going to owe money to.
Right.
So they basically just push their contracts out over the next 4 years. They just kicked it down the road because they know the cap's going to go up at some point.
Well, the Trent Williams thing, too, though, is like we've been saying that. His base salary is not going to be $23 million this year. It'll average out to being $23 million over the 5 years of the contract. And more than likely, the 5th year will be voidable. It'll be a, not a player deal, but a team-friendly deal at the end. So
Correct.
all the money, it'll work out.
Yason Hill said that's good knowledge.
It is because I got it.
I think it's a soft J.
I actually got it from Jason. He sent me the info, so I appreciate that.
Shout out, J Hill.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, when you give me good stuff, I use it on the show. It's awesome.
Coco Smooth says, I'd be fine with Melvin Ingram. I don't think there's anyone that wouldn't be fine with Melvin Ingram, to be honest.
Melvin Ingram would be fantastic.
The only issue with him is money, but yeah.
Yeah, it all depends on how much money he gets.
And Huxley, I feel about the same on Trent.
Yeah. I'm about 80% sure that he's coming back.
Yeah, I think so. I think him, him and the with Sherm on the Collinsworth show, I think he kind of said it. He's wanting to come back.
Absolutely.
I think he's just making sure he gets fair value.
Which
Roy Boy a little earlier. It's there at the top right now. Still trade back in the first round to 23 and get Sam.
And get Sam Darnold.
I think he's saying Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
And pick 66 at the back end of the first round. You get the top pass end rusher. You keep your second rounder for a corner or center and an early third. Thoughts? If you're trading back,
okay, so we're getting.
What are we giving up? Is the question.
We're not. Basically, they're moving up. We're getting Darnold, and they're 68?
66.
66. So that's a second round pick.
23. Sam Darnold and pick 66. I just don't see the Jets.
Is that a second or third round pick? That's their third round pick.
66 is going to be the third round pick.
Yeah, okay. So we get a third round pick, Sam Darnold.
And pick 23.
And if you restructure Darnold's contract so that he's the backup, I'm in.
That's a great trade.
I would do it.
As long as
Darnold is the backup.
Well, I think he does. Well, I think that there's been the narrative now, right, that they're going to put pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo by bringing him in, kind of the whole competition thing. So it's kind of the creative chaos.
Did you hear that Spoon going to the Seahawks?
The Seahawks.
My bad. My apologies.
I did hear
Seahawks
that.
Rumor?
I
did hear
actually
that,
hadn't.
I heard that today.
I heard that. I could see that. I could see it. They'd be willing to pay him more money than we would.
So, yeah, Alex Faulkner, what would happen is they have to basically agree to the last year of his contract, which is $18 million. They're wanting him to take less money. Once he says they don't take less money, they're going to cut him. And once they cut him, then he's going to be available. And we've already talked about before that he has ties and he would be willing to come to San Francisco and an incentive-laden type deal. But at what amount, I don't know. I know Cohn was saying they would have to trade Jimmy and not sign Trent. Not to what we've heard and our knowledge of it, but
Correct.
It doesn't mean after seeing what J.J. Watt got, I don't think he wants to get just a huge payday, but there might be somebody that throws money at him, but he wants to win a championship.
He definitely wants to win a championship, and that's the reason why I don't think he would take less money in Denver land.
Yeah.
Is because he would be looking at the situation in terms of trying to get out and get somewhere where he can win.
Yeah, he's trying to get out.
And that's the feeling we've been getting from the people we've been talking to. That's kind of the info that's being tossed about is he wants to win it desperately. And this is what we kind of thought was the situation with J.J. Watt, which is kind of why we thought there was a chance J.J. Watt could end up in a place like San Francisco. And then he took a big contract with the Cardinals, and nothing makes sense anymore. So, sometimes you get things right, sometimes you get things wrong.
We'll see what happens with Vaughn, though. I'm expecting them to
it's going to come here
decline here pretty soon.
It's going to be coming up here in the next
March
couple
16th weeks. March 16th is the deadline, so we will know.
Megan D says, "Why in the Sam hell would you want Sam Darnold?" First of all, can we watch our language?
Yeah,
well, think about this. We got Sam in that trade scenario. We got Sam Darnold, a 3rd round pick, to just move down 11 spots.
That's a steal.
We are tired of Nick Mullins as the backup quarterback. Sam Darnold is better than Nick Mullins.
And listen, here's this. I know that Sam Darnold sees ghosts, and I know that's a meme. It's a funny meme. It's great. But at least Sam Darnold doesn't intentionally try and throw to the other team.
Well, maybe also that Shanahan can convince them they're friendly. They're Caspers.
Tommy Huxley, I believe in that scenario we would be probably trading Greenlaw.
Yes.
If we had to trade one. And that's because at some point Greenlaw is going to make some money.
Well, and I think part of it too is right now you stack on having great players. You know what I mean? You just take the best players that you can get, and then after that you worry about it when Greenlaw's contract comes up. Now you don't have to worry about it. You can either move him, extend him, or you have Zaven Collins, and that would be the deal. But I think part of our thinking behind it too is the Texans wanted young defensive players. If you draft Zaven Collins, then you could obviously put Drake Greenlaw in that situation. You don't have to lose Warner.
And if you haven't seen our trade week specials, go watch our trade week specials all the way from the Washington football team trade that whole week. Just watch that list of trades because we had some really good ones, including one that included a package to the Texans that included Drake Greenlaw.
What if we trade Josh Rosen to New England? Is that the QB they want?
I mean,
no.
No.
I think Cohn is the one that's maybe on the road.
Say his name.
So what's his name? I don't know what we're talking about anyway. Actually, we haven't given Josh Rosen his fair due. Maybe
say his name.
Maybe at the end of this episode we'll talk about
There's
it.
a good chance at the end of this episode.
Say his name. So does he want us to say Roman Reigns? Is that what he's trying to get us to say?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, no,
Roy, well, you missed our thoughts on E-Man's extension.
Yeah, you know what, Roy, though, we did. We liked the E-Man extension.
Mm-hmm.
Unsure about the money, waiting to hear the contract details to see if it's over. If it's just escalators that make it go up to 10.1 for playing time and stuff, I'm good with that. I just would wonder why they didn't do the second round tender, $3.4 million, 1 year, no guaranteed money. That would make more sense, in my opinion. But, hey, we got him.
I'm so glad you clarified it in your opinion.
Yeah.
I'm so glad because, someone's going to take it too seriously and be like, well, you're wrong.
Oh, of course.
They'll never do that.
IMO.
I mean, yeah, IMO. Big time IMO.
No H, though. You're not
right.
humble.
In my humble opinion. Stream Elements, man. Stream Elements and Stream Bot, bro. They're all on top of it.
They are.
Chat's been live. It's been crazy.
Oh, we're up to 530.
We are up to 530. Shout out to everyone who subscribed today. Yep. We've picked up, I think it's eight subs in just this live stream
virtual
today.
High five, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great job, all of you. We appreciate the support.
I'm wanting some more questions.
Hopefully
we got some more.
What do we got here, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, we just got one from Alex Faulkner. Is taking Sewell over Pitts the right move in this mock?
Ooh.
Pitts is generational. Linemen can be found later. No. I agree that linemen can be found later, but can linemen be found that are like Penei Sewell?
You know what? That is a great, actually a great question.
It is.
It all depends on how much who you believe Penei Sewell is. Is Penei Sewell, Orlando Pace, Jonathan Ogden, Hall of Fame, caliber left tackle? He's right. Pitts is a fantastic player, and Pitts is freakish
And he's the future of the tight end position. What the tight end position is going to be becoming in the next 5 to 10 years is what Pitts is right
He's
now.
not the people's tight end.
Well, I think there's a poor man version too in Brevin
but-
Jordan. I think he's a
True.
poor man's version later on in the draft. But that is a good. I think it is kind of just whatever you're
no,
feeling
that's a
at the
good
moment.
debate right there.
It is, and maybe we need to do a video on that, Mr. Faulkner. Maybe you just provide a video idea.
Well, Pitts is what I was looking at with Claypool last year.
Correct.
I mean, that Pitts is exactly who how I looked at Chase Claypool last year.
100% agree with you there. Megan D says, is the 17th the date that all the drama is going down, all the cuts and everything, Saints basically dropping all their players? They've already started to make some of those moves.
Now, yeah.
It's starting to happen now, and I would expect this weekend you're going to see a lot of craziness.
Yeah.
Monday, you're going to see some craziness as well, because that's going to get 13th, 14th, that's going to be the 15th. A lot of big cuts are going to happen on Tuesday right before free agency starts.
Yeah, they're still trying to restructure a lot of people, and the people that they can restructure, they're keeping. And the guys they can't, they don't. I think what's interesting is we haven't seen a 49ers extension or restructure yet that frees up extra cap space.
That's true, and I feel that's coming as well. I think the Niners are just kind of biding their time.
Yeah.
People really want us to get to Rosen. We'll get there. Don't get there first. Don't worry. Pitts is a dumb pick for the Niners. I disagree there because of the whole reason they brought in Jordan Reed last year was to try and explore that dynamic with a little bit more of a receiving option tight end that can play in the slot. And they didn't really get a chance to do it because Kittle got hurt, then Reed got hurt, then Kittle got hurt, then they never got on the field at the same time.
I think Pitts is a more explosive player than Jordan Reed as well, so he's more talented. But I think another big part of it is there's no bad picks for Kyle because Kyle can switch his offense up and adjust it however he needs to use his weapons. So Pitts would make a lot of sense at 12. He's a guy that I would have a hard time moving off of. It's just I like the hog mollies. So I'm always going to say, let's get the run game going first, and then after that, you would do Pitts. So if Penei Sewell wasn't there, I would 100% been behind Kyle Pitts.
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Agree with you there. Let's see. Don't forget about Rosen. Do you guys think he's better than Kittle? Pitts? No. Not better than Kittle. Better. He might be a better deep threat than Kittle.
Well, the thing is you don't know what he could end up being. He's
He's
not going to be a better blocker.
No.
So overall tight end, he'll never be to the level Kittle is.
Correct.
But he might be a better receiving option.
Potentially.
Could be.
He'll never be cooler than him either.
Well, he'll never be George Kittle beating Stephon Gilmore one-on-one. There ain't too many tight ends that can do
burn. That's a sick burn.
Jay Ellie, we actually did a video last week. Or no, we did Kyle Rudolph. Excuse me, we
did Kyle Rudolph. We didn't do Tyler Eifert. We did Kyle Rudolph.
But that's a good suggestion.
I'll tell you, no one wanted Rudolph. No one.
Nobody.
No,
everyone did not like
Rudy joke.
No. He couldn't play any reindeer games.
No reindeer games at all. People were not down with the Kyle Rudolph video at all anywhere. But pick up Tyler Eifert in place of Jordan Reed. Thoughts on that?
In place of Jordan Reed, I think that. I think right now, the way it's looking, minus them finding a cheap option, they're going to try to bring back Jordan Reed. And then, depending on what his cap number is, they'll move on. And I think they're completely prepared to move on with just Dwelly and Warner backing up Kittle, which scares the living heck out of me because Kittle seems to miss 2 or 3 games a year, at which time we have, Dwelly playing tight end. So
you're blowing my mind.
Blowing my mind.
The question is, who's going to play fullback? Hopefully Kyle Juszczyk.
Please be Kyle Juszczyk.
Just
because we just gave Emmanuel Mosley the same amount of money we could definitely re-sign Kyle Juszczyk for.
Yeah.
And that's another scary guy for the Jets.
Shout out to Robert Dixon right here with this. I think that's the first comment I've seen of you. What's up, Mr. Sir? We're glad you commented.
Yep.
Definitely give us some questions here. Give us some feedback, Robert. What do you want to know? You guys could use a 1K boost on your audio. Is our audio not good? That's interesting there, Gary. I don't know what you mean by that, but all right. I'll take a look at it. I'll keep my OBS open a little bit more frequent. Guys, though, they talked about, Megan had brought up earlier, Saints dropping players and basically cutting guys. Do you think there's anyone else? I mean, let's not talk about other guys, but let's talk about a guy that they just did cut, Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah.
Do you think a reunion's possible?
Yeah, I do. I think Emmanuel Sanders is an option. I mean, Kendrick Bourne already said that he's going to choose money over the 49ers. I mean, he basically said that if somebody offered him a big contract, he'll leave. So what would be better than Emmanuel Sanders coming in? Some of the things I heard about Emmanuel Sanders, Chris Sims said on his podcast, Emmanuel Sanders can't practice anymore, basically. He's kind of just a game guy. So going to a system that he automatically knows would make sense for the 49ers. And he could play a third receiver. And then if you had an injury, there's your number 2 guy. I think it would make sense, depending on the price.
How do you feel about that, Horst? Well, that's a big no.
Wow. Thanks, Horst. Dynamite drop-in money.
I know, that was a good one, huh? Emmanuel Sanders is what you told me the other day scared me. The thing that he doesn't practice.
He doesn't practice. Yeah, Chris Sims said it.
No,
he's 35 years old, and I think
what you're saying
honestly, to be honest with you, D Ford is going to be no practice anymore either. Just so you know, he didn't practice at the end of Kansas City run. I don't think he'll practice now.
No, but Emmanuel Sanders. If we keep Jimmy, I'm definitely big on bringing back Emmanuel Sanders because they clearly had a connection. Those two as like his safety blanket type guy.
Okay.
If we move on from Jimmy, I don't know. But I do like Emmanuel Sanders. I think he's a really good player. And he's great for the room with the young guys. And I think I figured out who Robert Dixon is. I'll tell you
later.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Jason Hill, J-Hill brought up Quan Alexander as well. I think all of us would feel there's better options available than Quan Alexander. But if you're looking at a cheap veteran kind of deal for a guy to just plug and play in certain situations and only be on the field 20-30% of the time, Quan would probably make sense because he fits in with the scheme. We already know that.
Until he ends up in New York with the Jets.
Absolutely. I think they would. I think Salah might overpay to get him in there. But I would say Emmanuel Sanders is the more likely probability.
He'd be a cold boy in New York.
Yeah.
I think the probability is Emmanuel Sanders is higher.
Yeah.
I feel he does more for the team. I feel he does more for Jimmy. I feel he does more for the offense. Now, that is all barring them not going and making a move or getting a guy like Pitts in the draft. I don't think anyone is pulling the trigger on Emmanuel Sanders up until a little bit closer to the draft. Because I don't think anyone is going to – the market value for him is going to be a little wonky and a little bit off, I think.
Yeah, I think he's going to be somebody that goes kind of after these top-level guys go. Jay Elliott, as far as Ramczyk goes, I know that the Saints are talking restructuring with him. If they can restructure and extend, then he will probably stay there. But if they can't work it out because he still wants his money, then he would definitely be a possibility to replace Trent Williams if Williams is gone.
Absolutely. So. We're ready to see what Chris Thompson and Hurd has.
Yeah, those guys have both been hurt the last 2 years. We really haven't seen any of Thompson at all.
No.
Basically nothing. But
I almost forgot.
Yeah. I know exactly who he is. Jalen Hurd is, Horst knows this. Since they got him, Horst told me who he was when they first got him. I didn't even know who he was. He was quickly my favorite player that came out of that draft. I'm so excited to see what he could possibly do.
Jason Hill, enjoyed your contribution there. Alex Faulkner, is there any truth? My bad. Jason Hill, my bad. Soft J, I forgot. Is there any truth to the McGlinchey to Indy trade rumor? I don't even know if it's a trade rumor right now. I think it's just they called to inquire.
Yep.
I would say yes, that is the case, and it's only because of the sources that are reporting it. They're not the same sources that were reporting the Niners offered a bunch of twos for Matt Stafford.
Oh, yeah.
And the Niners called to inquire about Teddy Bridgewater, which I've been all over forum boards posting how that's nonsense and it never happened, and people were basically calling me a shill for Shanahan and Lynch, and I'm an idiot and all this stuff. And then both things turned out to be true, and I was like, do I get my apologies now? Where are they? Because I won't apologize. I know you won't, but there's the same 8 or 9 sites that were reporting it. It's not the same 8 or 9 sites that are talking about this.
Yeah.
I know Grant Cohn discussed it and talked about it and brought it up first, but some of the other sources that are coming out are a little bit more reasonable. I think they 100% did.
I think that they called. Last year they called about Jimmy Garoppolo when they were calling about Buckner. This time they called about Mike McGlinchey. Why not? If they could put him next to Quentin Nelson, we talk about one heck of a run game that they could establish there. Yeah. They went running back last year in the draft. It makes sense for the Colts. The Colts probably think they're a player away now because they got Carson Wentz. They probably need another receiver after T.Y. is probably going to leave. Yep. So they're going to need something there, but, they're definitely a possibility. And I understand people calling, engaging, because they're probably, hearing the 49ers might be interested in Slater. So they're looking at, hey, if the Niners are willing to move off Mike McGlinchey, that means they're going to hit Slater, in the draft. So everyone's trying to figure out and see where they're jockeying for position.
Tommy Huxley, don't do anything. It's going to wind up with you in trouble, bud.
Please don't do that. We do not condone beating up of any team's fans for the love of everything good and holy in this world.
Yeah.
Roy, boy, you posted something that got retracted, buddy. I don't know what you said, but oh well. But then after that, you said trade McGlinchey to the Colts to play with his buddy Nelson and draft Slater. I don't think any of us would hate that. The real question becomes, what are you trading McGlinchey to the Colts for?
Yeah, that's the big question. I mean, as soon as that rumor came out and we had done the Andrew Luck video, that was the first thing that came to mind, is that the whole Andrew Luck thing. But it would have to be something of value. I think Mike McGlinchey still carries value in this league. So I don't know, third, fourth round pick, something like that. I think the only way you're doing it is if you're ready to move on and you got another option at right tackle. You're not going to just weaken yourself from McGlinchey. Does he struggle in the past blocking elements? Yes, but he's still one heck of a run blocker. So you have to make sure you're making smart moves right there.
Well, the biggest Colts fan I know, Megan Davidson, says that she thinks they're more than one player away.
She would know.
That gives it credence. Huge Colts fan.
Yeah.
You set yourself up for that one, sweetheart.
Yep. And if people don't believe it, I have a picture that shows it.
And Nico Wilson
and he asked this earlier too, and we missed it.
I'm sorry about that, sir.
Yes.
I think Lance is a couple of years away from being ready to play.
I feel he's a second-round talent quarterback.
He's very gifted. I think he's far from being ready.
Arm talent, first round. Footwork, accuracy, second round. Maybe even later than that. If you watched his pro day today, and if you haven't, I would say once we're off here with this live stream, go check it out.
Yeah.
You can watch it on the NFL on NFL.com. The pro day is up there, and it's a preview replay of it. He's very inconsistent with his footwork and his dropbacks. When he sticks his back foot on his third, fifth step of his drop to plant and throw, on one read throws, not the throws in which he's maneuvering across the field, where he's supposed to have hitch steps, on his plant and throw first read throws, that right foot, after he plants on that right foot, he steps forward with that left foot, but that left foot plants on the ground first, and then he steps forward into his throws. So he's got an extra delay, an extra step, and they're basically a false step for a quarterback. That's going to be devastating for him in timing routes with his receivers, because he's not going to be releasing the ball at the same point every time.
Well, I think, too, that you're looking at that might be a little high for that developmental. Like I said, if it's somewhere in the 20s, I think you could look at it. Second round, yes. But he's a one-read guy in college, and a lot of that it's not his fault. It is the college's fault for the type of offense that they ran.
Accurate.
But he still would have to develop, be able to go through reads, progressions, and make throws. You talked about his footwork. That's the thing when you get into Shanahan's offense and some of these other guys is they're very, planned out on your steps. 3 steps in a hitch, 5 steps in a hitch, 7 steps in a hitch, and he would have to do it right. And yes, Megan, I do have proof, and I can provide such proof.
Big mistake.
That was a mistake.
That was a big mistake.
She's going to claim it's her twin, and it's definitely not.
Definitely not.
Jay Ellie, my thoughts on Sean Coleman are I'd be shocked if he even made it to camp.
Sean Coleman's an interesting cat, just to see what he does. I don't know, because he's kind of locked into the tackle spot. Horse, I don't know how you think about this. Is that Skule and Brunskill are more valuable because they can play inside and outside. Skule proved it last year.
Yep.
So now they're more valuable than Coleman. Coleman will probably be in camp because he's a cheap option, but I don't know if he'll make the team, especially if they go offensive line in this draft.
Do we need a running back based off injuries? I just think we need a running back in terms of just diversity in the backfield, with Coleman going and him taking off, and Jeff Wilson Jr. Yes, injuries have played a role in it, but I think there are just running backs in this draft this year that you can get in those middle to late rounds that fit perfectly in the scheme, and we'd be kind of foolish not to take one of them.
I think Demetric Felton, 3rd round, Javion Hawkins later in the 6th round. Those guys are super fast, and they would fit into the system. Both those guys would do things that they need. They do have to plan in case they lose Mostert, if they lose Wilson Jr. After next year. They're only under contract for 1 more year. So preparing for that makes sense. So drafting someone in the late rounds would make sense. Or Felton, who they met with, because he plays slot receiver, he plays running back. He's another one of those guys Shanahan can use in a bunch of different variety of ways.
Remember they also met with Jamar Jefferson.
They did. Yeah, I think Jamar Jefferson reminds me more of JaMychal Hasty, though, than the other type of backs that they have.
If Jimmy G can stay healthy, I definitely do.
Yes, Nico, 100% yes. If Jimmy's healthy, you want him on the team. You want him on the team. You want him on the field because you've already seen what he can do. And some people will say, all he can do is throw the dump off and hand the ball off to running backs. If you need a reminder, again, go watch that Saints game from 2019. He put the team on his back. Defense didn't show up that night.
How about the second Arizona game?
Second Arizona game as well. He made a lot of big, crucial throws in a lot of games. And I know that people think that dink and dunk all the time with him. Watch some of the throws that he makes over the middle and the windows that he fits balls into.
Yeah.
When he is on and healthy, man, that guy can sling the football.
I'm going to say this. 100% Trey Lance is more talented than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Correct.
Right now, Jimmy Garoppolo is a far better quarterback than Trey Lance. So you're betting on potential. At pick 12, I think just with your team built to win now, that would be kind of a stretch because he wouldn't do anything for you this year. And I think you're trying to win now. If you're not trying to win now, if you're going to wait for 2 years and build, then you probably don't sign Trent Williams and you do trade Jimmy Garoppolo and you bring this guy in, but you're trying to win now. So I don't think you do it.
What about McKivitz, guys? We were asked again here. We're asked, where is it?
Tommy Huxley said,
what should they do with McKivitz?
There it is.
Keep developing him. He showed a little bit in those couple games that he played. Significant snaps in.
I actually think he was a better player as a rookie than Justin Skule was. I think Skule got exposed, where McKivitz played inside. McKivitz has guard potential, and he could also play some right tackle. So I still think he's a developmental piece. I wouldn't give up on him yet.
I wouldn't give up yet. It's a little too early to give up on McKivitz. Best ability is availability. We agree, Jason. We 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
Which is why it's a risk either way, right? Like if you stick it out with Jimmy, there's always the potentiality.
Well, I will bring this up, Jason Hill. Jimmy Garoppolo played more games last year than Trey Lance did.
Accurate. Also very accurate. Jimmy throws in triple coverage too.
He does
at times.
He does. He has happy feet. I'm not going to lie. He can't make 20-yard comebacks. He can't make a lot of the throws. He doesn't like throwing outside the numbers. Those are 100% true. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's just, I think at this point, we have to decide what team we want to have. To me, he's the best player available for them right now. Yeah. But that's why I keep looking at other options, but I'm not going to sell the farm to upgrade either.
Correct.
Because I want to make sure the 49ers are good for the next 5 or 6 years and not just good for this year.
Right. Thoughts on Davis Mills, Stanford quarterback? I'm not as high on him as maybe Ant is and maybe Horse. I don't know what Horse's opinion is. Horse is a big no. I should have figured that from the fact that he's a big USC fan and watched a lot of Pac-12 football.
Yeah. Fourth round, not the bad value.
I don't think it's bad value in the fourth round. I would just not. I would just say no. I haven't seen a lot of him that stands out to me as booming with potential as a backup option. Yeah.
Well, he's got potential, but it's like, I don't know, when you kind of get past the first round guys, then in my opinion, there's a huge drop off until you get, and then it's, to me, they're still putting these guys separate, but this guy in another year would probably be like a 5th round pick. So
Jason just wanted to clarify that he was referring to Trey and not Trey, just Jimmy. Well, I'm not
referring to Trey, just Jimmy. Well, I was bringing up that he only played 1 game last year, Jason. So he should have been available for more.
He should have been available.
Oh, you mean it was the COVID's fault?
There we go.
Maybe if he got recruited to
Megan Davidson is one more Tom Brady reference away from getting a timeout. So don't do that. And I can actually time you out in the chat.
Be an impact player on this team. I think all of us here actually expect great things from Tarvarius Moore.
I think Tarvarius Moore struggled in coverage more than he should have at the end of the year. But Tarvarius Moore was kind of playing a different position. When they decide to play him next to Jimmy Ward, that is when they're the most successful because of the type of things that they can do. He plays really good in the box for someone his size. He has corner skills, but I think he was having a hard time picking up some of the coverage schemes and stuff like that. And I think he can get it down. I think he can make an impact, but he's got to start causing more turnovers. This year he didn't. Last year in the Super Bowl he did. This year he didn't.
True.
You're in trouble when you go home.
I might be in trouble when I get back to my house. Who knows? There's a possibility. We'll be in more trouble when we release the
Colts picture.
The Colts picture, but
it's inevitable.
Fine. It's fine. I agree with Stream Elements there.
Be the thumbnail of our next video.
Oh gosh, I don't know about that.
Don't tempt me.
Stream Elements, have you subscribed yet? Hit that subscribe button now and join the community. Stream Elements is right. That's one of the most accurate things that's been posted in the chat all night. I'm just kidding. He's programmed to say that. So he's a shill. He shills for us.
You're one of those funny guys.
I try my best. But guys, you know what? We got a lot of chat. Great discussion. Chat, give yourself a hand. That was incredible. We enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. We really do need to try and get to Josh Rosen. We have to try and get to Josh Rosen. Listen,
a lot of people are bringing up Josh Rosen. I wonder why.
The chat was going crazy for Josh Rosen tonight. There was at least 10 or 15 different chats about
Before we get to Josh Rosen.
See, Buddy is scratching the door, and even he wants to talk about
Before
Josh
we get to Rosen, because it's such a big topic, we do need to thank all the new people for coming out today and participating in the chat, like Roy Boy, Tony Two-Tone, Jaron Austin, Nico Wilson, all you guys, and of course our normal guys for returning.
Yep.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We had a great time talking to you guys. If you haven't subscribed, come watch our other content if you haven't yet.
Yeah. Talk
to us on it. And now, sorry, Alex.
Well, and before you do that, man, we can shout out a couple more guys as well. Ty Brunson.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Never mind. Gritty Fitty, Ramiro Puentes, Angel Calderon, Leo Huerta was at the start of it, Ty Brunson. Those are the ones that are the most recent ones. And again, those are the people who are publicly subscribed to the page. So if you want more shout outs, you want to be able to have us shout you out, you want to be premiered and shown on our overlays on some of our live stream stuff, you just have to publicly subscribe to the page, change that in your settings. You can go in there, click. If you want us to do like a little tutorial thing on it, we can. But you just got to set your account to public. That way, your information will pop up in our feed. It'll filter through, and we'll be able to show you some love and thank you in person right now, like on these live streams, for subscribing.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And we got great videos coming out in the next 2 days, so make sure you check them out. We're going to be doing Delaney Walker tomorrow at 11 a.m. We're going to be talking about, should the 49ers look at a reunion with Delaney Walker? We were talking about Kyle Pitts earlier. We're talking about Jordan Reed. Could this guy be an option for the 49ers?
So now that is over, time to get to the hot topic, Josh Rosen, man.
Well, he's got the futures contract, right? He could be an option and a long-term plan for the 49ers as a backup quarterback, maybe even potentially taking over for Jimmy Jeans in the reins, you know?
And you know what?
Don't do it.
Sorry, Josh Rosen, we're out of time. Catch you on the next one. Can't wait for it.
Poor Josh.
All right, guys, you know what time it is. Let's chalk another one up.
I don't want to. I feel so bad.
Catch you next time, Rosen. We will. We got